Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 5 of the Sports Wire. I'm Tyler Panero.
I'm Andrew Youngworth.
And if you guys noticed, there's a third person here today. Mystery Man, what's your name?
I'm Will Nicholson.
Will, glad to have you on the show. Will's a longtime friend of MCM, longtime intern here. Does a lot. You've probably heard his voice a lot if you're from Marshfield.
Oh, yeah.
And before we actually get started today, Will, Andrew and I have a little surprise for you.
Ooh.
Yeah,
You've done a lot for me and Andrew, coming up as like broadcasters in the sports media world.
Yeah.
So, Will, this is for you.
What?
Yep.
Wait. What is this?
We didn't tell him about this.
No, I was not told about this at all.
So, Will,
Oh, no way.
You got your own new Caitlin Clark
Dude,
jersey.
are you kidding? Wait, this is so nice.
Oh,
Will,
yeah.
that's yours.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's
Wait,
yours,
that's
man.
awesome. What?
Yeah.
You guys are the best.
And in honor of you getting that jersey, me and Teeps got our own shirts
No,
on.
dude,
We
no.
suited up today, baby.
What?
We're
I
gonna
was
have
not told about any of
A
this.
Caitlin Clark themed episode.
Yeah.
Even though she's injured right now.
Even though she is injured, welcome to Caitlin Clark
Wait,
edition
that's
of the
so
Sports
awesome.
Wire.
So yeah, Will's got his jersey. Me and
Will's
Andrew
got his jersey.
have our matching shirts.
Yep.
It's gonna be a good episode.
It's going to be a great episode. Unfortunately, well, rest up,
So,
Caitlin Clark. Hope
rest
she gets
up,
better.
Rest up, Caitlin Clark. I mean, like, she's gonna get better soon. But yeah.
Yeah.
Now that we got the theme underway, let's send it right to Sum It Up.
Welcome to today's Sum It Up. As you guys know, last night, a phenomenal Stanley Cup game took place. Absolute barn burner. The third overtime game of the 4-game series thus far. Oilers took a 5-4 series tied 2-2. And let's talk about it. This series has been unbelievable.
Dude, this has been like the most entertained I've been watching hockey in a long time. Ever since the Bruins broke the win record, this has just been elite hockey. 3 of the 4 games have been one-goal games.
Yeah.
Other than Game 3, we don't talk about Game 3. But
Yeah.
yesterday, Edmonton made a very interesting decision. They decided to pull Skinner because they were straight up like, we've had enough of this. He let up like at least 4 goals every game in the first 3 games. So they pulled him for, what was the guy's name they brought in?
Calvin Picard. Yesterday, the score was 3-0 Panthers. By the way, amazing comeback.
Great comeback.
It was 3-0 in the first period. It was Skinner had let in 3 goals on 17 shots, which is a really awful
do that.
percentage.
That's
So
a
they
very
decided to
bad
give
percentage.
Picard a
That's
chance.
Not
That's
quick at
bad.
math, but that's pretty bad.
Yeah, not great.
That's pretty terrible.
Okay, then. But yeah, Picard came in, shut everything down, didn't give up 1 goal until the final 20 seconds of regulation.
That was
And
so unfortunate.
we saw Edmonton bring it all the way back.
Yeah, Edmonton, they rallied in the first period, end of the first period, all of the second period, and then the third period it was a good back and forth. Overtime, Florida had dominance in overtime. They had way more shots on goal in overtime, but Draisaitl able to find the back of the net. And what a recovery from Leon Draisaitl it's been this series.
100%. No, I was watching a little bit of this game early, and I thought Florida was going to run away with it, right? They had like 13 shots in the first period or something. And this is probably, this is the best punch that I think Florida had, right? It's been a lot of Edmonton. It's been very dominant. McDavid, obviously. It's McDavid. McGoat. He's been incredible.
Demon, yeah.
But this is the best punch I think that Florida threw. I don't think they're going to get another real good crack at it. It's an OT game, and you still lose to Edmonton. I think Edmonton's probably going to wrap this up.
I think that's huge, Edmonton tying it on the road because you don't like going down 2-1 in the first game in Florida. So now bringing it back to Edmonton, I think they have good momentum heading in to what's it going to be, Game 5?
It's going to be Game 5
I think
in
Edmonton's
Edmonton.
got a lot of momentum riding on their side now coming into Game 5.
I mean, I was terrified when the Panthers took a 3-0 lead because we saw what happened in Game 3. I mean, the Panthers are definitely more of a skilled all-around team than the Oilers.
Yeah.
The Oilers have McDavid and Draisaitl, who are more skilled than anyone the Panthers have. But in terms of depth, Florida's got them unmatched. It's not even close. So Florida taking the 6-1 lead at home, that didn't surprise me at all. But yesterday, I was sure that Edmonton was gonna come back. And when I saw that first period collapse, I was stunned.
Yeah. I've learned in hockey now because we were blessed to watch Patrice Bergeron for so long.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
like
we were.
you can't just rule out a game when it's a 3-goal game because Bergeron can drop the hat trick on you like that in the playoffs. So anything can happen.
So now, do you guys think we see Calvin Picard in Game 5, or do you think they give Skinner the nod again for Game 5 back in Edmonton?
Probably got to stick Skinner at this point, right?
I personally wouldn't. Skinner, he gave up 3 goals right away in the first period. You said,
Yeah.
and they pulled him, and he's given up at least 4 every other game.
By the time Skinner got pulled out, I believe he let in 18 goals in 10 periods of play.
That's tough.
Yeah, see, those aren't good numbers.
That's
right now.
tough.
I think you got to keep Picard then.
I think you give Picard a shot.
Yeah, I think Picard's got to be the guy. He let up only one yesterday.
Let up only one. And I agree with what Will was saying.
You gotta ride the hot hand too. I
Exactly.
guess. Yeah.
Not only was it a goalie collapse on Skinner, which I mean it has been. He definitely has been playing his best. But what Will was saying, it was just like a defensive collapse as well. The Panthers' offense was cruising by the defense. Like you said, they had like 15 shots on goal
insane.
in the first period.
I don't remember the
absurd.
number, but it was like they outshot by at least 10 the Panthers. So it was crazy.
Yeah, no, the first period wasn't even remotely close in any form. Like possession time, shots on goal, obviously the score, it was all Panthers. But the fact that the Oilers were still able to come back after that shows that this series is not only going to go far, I think it's still in favor of Edmonton, like what we've been saying all along.
I would say so. I mean, game 3, like Edmonton did a perfect job of just moving on from that. Game 3 didn't go their way. They only scored 1 goal, lost 5-1, I believe, 6-1.
6-1.
6-1. Had a bunch of guys get ejected too.
Yeah.
Not a good look. Bounced back perfectly from that. That was easily a more important win, I think, than game 1.
Speaking on the ejections, they played a lot smarter last night.
Yes.
Significantly less penalties on Edmonton's side, whereas game 3, they had 5 penalties in the first period, something like that. Something stupid. It was insane. So,
Marchand also didn't tuck one in last night. I was very surprised.
That was unfortunate.
Marchand has been on fire.
I've been loving it.
He has been.
Last night it was Reinhart who tied it up.
Yep.
Reinhart and Bennett have been playing. Yesterday, Matt Tkachuk had 2 goals to start the game. That surprised me because he has not been playing very well. And I'm still certain that he has an injury that no one knows about yet, and the public has not released it. I'm sure they're going to release it.
I was just about to ask you about that. You were mentioning you think Tkachuk is like battling an injury.
I do.
Looked pretty good last night, I will say.
Looked great last night, but not as good as the Indiana Pacers in Game 3. Speaking of Indiana,
Indiana basketball's on top.
Represent.
Let's get to the men's team. I'll let you guys take this away here.
So in this game, Benedict Mathurin off the bench was the unsung hero for Indiana. Came into the game, scored 27 points off the bench. Pacers' ball movement looks insane. You had Tyrese Halliburton with almost a 22-point triple-double, 22, 9 rebounds, 11 assists. Siakam at 21. But out of all of them, I think the most impactful player in this game was T.J. McConnell coming off the bench. He only had 10 points, but McConnell was getting in passing lanes. He was crashing the offensive glass. He was playing tenacious defense, forcing turnovers and stuff. I think if you didn't have T.J. McConnell there, Pacers don't win that game.
I'm with you. T.J. McConnell is just, he's an effort guy. I mean, at the end of the day, he's a guy that you want on your team because, he's annoying, right? He's annoying to play against. He picks up full court. He doesn't shoot threes. He just literally goes at you with effort. I think he had a pretty good quote. It's like, people, want to know how far effort can take you. He's like, effort's the only reason I'm in the league. Like, I can't really shoot. I'm undersized. Like, I get on the floor by just out hustling people. And that's awesome. I love TJ McConnell. He showed out, what was it, Wednesday? Yeah.
Yeah. I sent Andrew a picture on Instagram the other day. It said, TJ McConnell is the Michael Jordan of Matthew Dellavedovas.
That is so fire.
That's so
fire.
That is so accurate, if you ask me.
It was the greatest post I've ever seen in my life, I think.
That's awesome.
You got to love the grit and grind white guys.
Oh, yeah. You always got to have one, dude. You always got to have one.
Celtics had Pritchard.
Exactly.
Something I thought was really interesting last night. What caught my eye more than the Pacers performing well was the Oklahoma City Thunder. So, obviously, their starting 5 performed pretty well, I'd say. Holmgren had 20. He was 0 for 6 from 3, but 20 points, 10 rebounds, still a solid day. Jalen Williams had 26. He played well. Obviously, Gilgeous-Alexander had 24. Wasn't really usual of him.
I was going to say, that's like below average.
That's under for sure.
What caught my eye, though, was the bench of Oklahoma City.
The bench was very bad.
When I originally saw the stat line, obviously I watched the game, but I saw the stat line, I was like, really? Like, everyone had that low of points? Like, how much minutes did they play? So, Aaron Wiggins ended up playing 10 minutes, and he shot 0 for 2. Put up 2 shots, neither of them went in, after having a 20-point game last game. Alex Caruso went 2 for 5. He played 32 minutes the other day. Hartenstein played 18 minutes, went 2 for 3. So the bench players, they're getting time. They're not putting up shots
One other guy I saw didn't have a great game either was Cason Wallace. I don't think he played.
No, Cason Wallace played terrible.
He got in foul trouble too, right?
He did. He got in foul trouble early. I think Wallace finished with 7. But my question is, what just happened to the Thunder's depth? Well, how come suddenly all 3 of them performed amazing in Game 2? How come all of a sudden no one's putting up any shots? In total, between those 3 guys, that's 30. Hang on, let's get some quick math here. 32. That's 60 minutes played, 10 shots total between the 3 of them.
I think.
Where does that come from?
This is a classic case of the Boston Celtics, I think.
Yeah.
Because you know how the Celtics have great role players, but they only show up 75% of the time. So I think that's just what happened here with OKC is that, like, their Pritchards and Hausers and Cornets of their team just had an off night. Obviously, Celtics, most of the time, everybody's playing well, everyone's hitting their shots. But OKC, same thing. We saw Caruso score like 20 points off the bench.
Yeah.
We saw Aaron Wiggins. What did he have? Like he had 20 also, right?
Yeah,
He had
Aaron Wiggins had 20.
20 on like 5 threes in the finals game. I think this was just a case of where like bench didn't show up and like the superstars were there, but the supporting cast didn't show up either. You need everybody on the team to win.
I think that's kind of how it goes, though, right? For you mentioned they played well in game 2.
Yeah.
Your role players, they're always going to play better at home, right? They feed off energy like that. It's just how it works. So you have the first game in Indiana, and they don't play as well, and then the Indiana Pacers bench goes crazy. I mean, that stuff is to be expected. Not as bad though. Obviously playing that many minutes, only getting 10 shots, that's like unacceptable. You can't have that from bench, especially in NBA Finals team's bench, the best team in the league this year. As far as wins go, the Pacers, I think they just played their best kind of ball from the bench. Obviously, you never expect Benedict Mathurin to come off the bench and score 20 plus, right? Like you don't expect that good of a game. Halliburton played well. It was like the perfect storm for Indiana. You're at home. You're feeling good. You just lost the 1 of 2 in OKC. Dude, give me Indiana all the way. I've been this from the beginning. The Pacers are going all the way.
I saw a take from Charles Barkley after Game 3. He said that there's way more pressure on Oklahoma City to win tonight than any other game they've had this entire season. He thinks if OKC wins tonight, the series shifts back into their favor. But if Indiana wins it tonight, it's over.
Yeah.
And what I think the pressure on the Thunder for the entire series too, because if the Thunder I saw this too. If the Thunder do not win this season, when are they ever going to win? This is their year. This was supposed to be their year. That's why my prediction on the pick'em was Thunder in 5. I seriously thought the Thunder were going to win in 5. I respected Indiana, but I thought OKC was going to smack them. But right now, Indiana's up 2-1, a chance to go up 3-1, because Indiana, like you just said, has been playing amazing team basketball. Yeah. Who expected Mathurin to drop 27 points on 75% shooting from field goal? Like his shots were falling, and like we said the other day, like they've all been like sharing the rock, but we need guys to step up. Halliburton and Siakam started to step up. They finally both got over 20 points. Mathurin 27. The other day, they had like 8 guys in the teens, which sometimes doesn't get the job done. And for the Thunder, SGA wasn't really able to step up. I still think it's so crazy that like the bench players weren't even shooting for OKC.
The craziest thing is to show how good SGA is. We're saying he didn't step up, and he still had like.
And he still had 24.
He still had 24 points because we're just so used to him dropping 30 plus.
Yeah.
Well, I was telling Andrew the other day that the biggest thing behind the Pacers' success right now is the power of friendship.
Oh yeah, that's what they got going for them, dude. The power of friendship takes them far. And it can take you far.
Right now, I think if the Pacers pull this off, Rick Carlisle steps even closer into like the best coaches of all time conversation.
I think he's
because Rick Carlisle, if they win it this year, Rick Carlisle is going to be the head coach of probably the 2 hardest rings in the history of the NBA.
Yeah.
He has number 1, the 2011 Mavs.
Yeah.
And this year's Pacers would top a lot of teams. They'd compete with like the 90s Rockets that were the 6th seed.
Yeah.
Some of those younger teams like that.
100%.
I saw a take on ESPN that really like made me think for a sec. It was talking about how winning a ring has gotten devalued. And the example for this was if Tyrese Halliburton wins a ring, he's still significantly less of like on the legacy score chart. I'm saying this weird. Tyrese Halliburton will not
all-time ranking.
Yeah, he will not pass Chris Paul just by winning a ring. And he was saying that devalues winning a ring.
If they're looking at Tyrese right now, I see what they mean just because Chris Paul's had like 20 years
and
of
I agree with that. He wouldn't pass him, but Halliburton's also 24 years old.
Halliburton would 100% be on the trajectory.
Yeah.
But there's just still a lot of like room to make up for.
But I just thought
even though Chris Paul never won a ring, every team Chris Paul went to, he made better.
100%.
Exactly.
I think it's a little different too. I think it's more of a Halliburton thing maybe than anything. People hate giving that guy credit, man.
They do.
They love being like he's a fake superstar and like, but they don't have the Celtics excuse last year. That's like he's playing for a super team because this so clearly just is not a super team. It's just a good team. But no, I think it's a Halliburton thing. Like if Anthony Edwards were to do this, right? If Anthony Edwards were to go to the finals, go up 2-1,
oh my goodness,
they would be
calling
saying,
him
like,
the GOAT of our generation.
They would be like, dude, he's top 5. He's top 5 in the league right now, and he's not
I
4-5.
I'm so with
3-2.
you right
Yeah.
now. I'm
and
so with
they would
you.
be like, oh, where does he rank for the all-time shooting guards? Like, is he already at number 3
I think it's all 'cause
or
of
behind
play-
Kobe
it's all
and
'cause of play
Mike?
style.
Yeah. Oh
He's
yeah.
got that
Literally.
Jordan-esque play style.
because he can post to
where he's
people.
trying to put you in a grave.
Yeah.
And then Luka, another example. People were ready to everyone last year picked Dallas to win, right?
Yeah.
Luka gets cold. I mean, he was still averaging 30, but in crunch time, Luka was turning it over. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum were locking him up. Nothing.
Yeah.
And then Luka, they had the game 4 where they're like, that's what Luka Doncic does.
I also want to hear what people have to say now about the Celtics run last year. By the way, they swept the Pacers. It's the exact same team.
It's
Nothing
true.
changed.
It's true.
There's just
Nothing
one.
changed.
There's one big
Obviously,
difference.
he was hurt.
Halliburton got hurt.
I know. he was hurt.
Not even just that. Matherin was hurt the entire run last year.
Yeah.
And now I'm
fair,
finally
but-
starting to see what Pacers fans meant, because the rest of this playoff run, I was like, what are you guys talking about?
But-
This is the guy we were worried about?
But sweeping, I still think sweeping them is still something impressive
Yeah.
to do because, I mean, they're currently winning in the finals. But I think Game 4 has got to go to OKC here. If it goes to Indiana,
If it goes to Indiana,
OKC's in trouble.
that's when you hit the panic button if you're OKC. Sam Presti is going to be stressing in his office if they lose tonight.
No, I feel like, maybe stressing for the finals, maybe. This team has such a bright future, man.
Yeah.
Such a bright future. And, we talked about this is their year, and I agree. But I think OKC is set up to win multiple rings if they can keep this core together. I know salary and tax is going to play a huge part in that.
They're going to get second apron worse than the Celtics.
Oh, so bad.
Easily.
They, in the next, 2 years, have to choose between Chet and J-Dub. And that stinks, because both those
awful.
guys are going to be max level players. Where do you go from there? Who do you choose, right? I would choose Chet personally, but
I want to
it's
say one
tough
more
call.
thing before we move on to stock up, stock down. I saw someone say that if the Pacers win the ring and Halliburton wins Finals MVP, we deserve to see the list of who voted him as most overrated.
Yes, 100%.
I think that's
That would be
That's
awesome.
I wanna
100%
know.
valid, I think. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
if he wins Finals MVP, we totally deserve to see who picked him most
I guarantee you everyone in his division voted him. Guarantee you Bucks
100%.
players,
Giannis,
Bulls players, they all voted
Kuzma,
for him
all
for
those
sure.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would actually love to see that. So that's going to do it for today's Stock Up, Stock Down. We had a lot
Not
to
stock
talk
up, stock
about.
down. This was sum it up.
That's going to do it for Sum It Up. Very long.
Very long sum it up, yeah.
So that's going to do it for today's Sum It Up. Very long edition of Sum It Up
Very
today.
long.
We had a bunch
lot
to talk
happened.
about.
A lot
Lot's been
happened,
happening.
And a lot is going to continue to happen. So be sure to tune in next time on Sum It Up. But for now, let's head to Stock Up, Stock Down.
Welcome to Stock Up, Stock Down. So my first stock up today, we were talking about him a lot in Sum It Up. My stock up is going to be TJ McConnell, the grit and grind master. I mean, guys, not much to say. We saw an elite role player finals performance from McConnell 2 nights ago in Game 3 of the finals. I think he's a very clear stock up for today.
100%. Now, I mean, you have a guy like that who not only is he a fan favorite, but he's playing out of his mind. TJ McConnell, phenomenal stock up.
Just cares so much about the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a fan favorite except you're playing against him.
Yeah.
Even when you're not a Pacers fan and you're just watching as a mutual fan, you're like, wow, I love TJ
When he's-
McConnell.
I'll
I love
say-
what he's doing.
Sixers McConnell, I hated him because
Oh,
he
yeah.
played the
Because-
Celtics so
because-
because he played the Celtics so
Also because he was
often.
on the Sixers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Sixers had to do something with it, but he was also such a pest against us too.
Yeah.
But now when he's not playing my favorite team and hitting his little mid-range leaner or whatever he does when he gets into the paint, it's really fun watching him.
That's tough.
I love it when
Don't you?
guys like him get opportunities to shine in the finals.
Yep.
Back in the day when Sean Livingston had opportunities to shine with Golden State, guys like that. I love
Never
seeing
missed a mid-range.
Never missed a mid-range.
mid-range
pass.
specialists who are also like hustle kings be able to
Yeah.
shine.
Sean
I
Livingston
think it's
went,
so awesome.
He
to
went
see.
3 years without missing a mid-range shot. You know that?
Like that is.
Is that actually
that's-
true?
Yeah, no. it
No,
is.
that's not true.
Not actually true.
It's
But damn near.
insane.
Because I know though he never missed a mid-range thing is
Just
you know,
not once.
Yeah.
But yeah, TJ McConnell, man, hustle beast.
So yeah, Will, I heard you
TJ.
have a stock up as well. I'm
I
curious.
do.
So
I do.
First, me and Andrew to have a stock up. Will, let's hear it.
We were talking a little bit about it before the show. My stock up is going to be the Boston Red Sox as a whole. Trending upward. Obviously, you're still a couple of games below 500, but even if you don't want to talk about who they are as a team or how good you think they are, whatever, the young guys are bringing this team up, man. So from a viewership standpoint, where you got, the big three of the young guys, Campbell and Meyer and Anthony, I think you got to stock up there. People are more interested in the Red Sox in the past, couple of games than they were at the beginning of the season. And that's when we had, Bregman and Abreu and all those guys playing.
I think
Yeah.
we can bump the big three to a fantastic four now because
Yeah.
Narvaez, another rookie. That's
We're talking about that too, yeah.
Absolutely dominating. Veritek took him right under his wing,
Yeah.
and Narvaez has been awesome. I think he's bumped up to the 4 hole now.
Yeah,
In the
he's
batting order?
batted for the last couple days.
He's batted for the
Love
past couple
that.
days. When they trust you to put you in the cleanup spot, that means you're doing something right behind.
100%.
And that could not be a more perfect stock up, because stock up is not necessarily who is peaking, it's who's going to peak. And I think the big three are going to be studs.
That's a good
All three of
long-term
them-
investment right there.
All
Yeah.
three of them have shown stuck up, especially recently. Marcelo Meyer, as we all
Meyer, yeah.
saw,
Oh my God.
2 home run game, and he also hit a home run at Yankee Stadium for his first career.
Yeah.
And tonight the Yankees come to town, so we'll get to see the big three together take on our rival Yankees.
Well, fun little story the other day. During Roman Anthony's second game, me and Andrew were in the car
Oh, yeah.
driving back from Target, trying to get the wheel for the wheel it takes. We told you guys it'd be here soon. But we couldn't watch the game because I don't have Nesson. So I pulled up the Real app and put it in the phone holder.
Yeah.
And we saw Anthony got a hit, and we were waiting. And then the screen said base hit, and me and Andrew started going nuts in the car.
Yeah.
And we were like, where were you for Roman Anthony's first career RBI, first career hit in double?
Yeah.
In my car, cruising on 139.
We were literally just looking at the scoreboard, waiting to see
Yeah.
the update on what happened. It says it was like hit. He's currently running. Me and Teeps were like, oh my God, oh my God. And then it was like 2 RBI double. We were like, yes! It was
That's
so
sweet.
electric.
Now Bregman gets back to the lineup too, dude.
I'm telling you.
It'll be a fun
I'm
time.
Wait till
telling you, it's
Bregman
gonna be
comes
good.
back. We'll make a
Isn't
run.
Abreu
We'll
back
make
in like a
run.
week or something?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty.
He's coming up soon. I think at the time he was hurt, they said a month, and that was a couple of weeks ago at this point.
It's gonna be pretty interesting.
I
We're
heard
gonna have
like a week
4
to 2
outfielders.
week. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. I heard like the rumor is that they might bump Roman Anthony back down, and I don't think you should ever
That
do
is
that.
the worst. Roman Anthony, the thing that told me he didn't belong in AAA anymore was when this dude casually hit a 500-foot grand slam in Worcester. Like,
That was-
dude,
No, it's
That
actually
was over.
ridiculous.
that dude should not be playing AAA anymore.
Yeah.
When Abreu comes back, though, who do you bump down? Rafaela? Because
I don't know.
like what?
No.
Like what? Here's what I think
he's
happens.
heating up on hitting though.
I
That's the
think you
problem.
move Rafaela to an infield position. Wait
I
for
was gonna say,
Bregman to
who have
come
they been
back.
trying at first base?
Toro.
Toro,
Tie
okay.
game-
And
tie
right
game
now,
Toro.
Toro's
Tie game
playing
Toro.
great. You
I
can't
don't
call
know.
down Roman Anthony, the number one
cannot
prospect,
send
after
Roman
bringing him back up. That's
Roman
like the
Anthony's never
worst thing you
going
could do. I thought that's the whole reason they're
Yeah.
stocking up. Like, not only the team is obviously winning right now,
Fans
but
are
fan
into it,
engagement.
yeah.
Yes.
The young guys are selling right now.
Yeah.
It's like when Tatum and Brown first started like really emerging in Tatum's rookie year when
Yeah.
both Kyrie and Hayward were down. We saw what these two young guys were going to bring to the table, and the fans are like, "Oh my God, we
Well,
have
just
something
like,
here."
just think about tonight. Like, shout out Ivana. She's going to the game tonight.
yeah.
You know, running the switcher. Yeah.
Big shout out, Ivana.
Big shout out. But you know, she said she's going to the game today, and we all were like, "That's awesome." You know, because obviously it's a Yankees game. Crochet is pitching. Not only that, it's rumored that all 3 of those guys are going to be batting against the Yankees in Fenway, where you have Campbell, you've got Meyer, and you got who am I forgetting? Anthony. There we go. But you got all 3 of those guys batting tonight, and that's the rumor at least. And everyone's like, "This is going to be the best game of the series." Everyone's into it. Everyone's ready for it. It's just like fans are excited about the Red Sox. Fans were not this excited about the Red Sox like 2 weeks ago.
Really, you can ask Andrew this. The Red Sox were one of my stock downs a couple episodes ago.
The Red
now
Sox
they're all-
and Alex Cora were both stock downs
Alex
within
Cora-
the last 2 weeks.
I spun the wheel of takes, and my take was coach in the hot seat, and my pick was Alex Cora.
Yeah.
So
That's
the
what it
Red
was,
Sox
yeah,
haven't
coach in
been
the hot
doing
seat.
Red Sox haven't been doing well for us, but Andrew, I'm ready to hear your stock up.
So my stock up is not necessarily a team. It's a league network combo. I'm going to go with the NBA on NBC, which is going to start next year in the 2025-26 NBA season. We all remember NHL on NBC. That was the best hockey ever got. And, of course, that was with the help of Doc Emmerich and Eddie Olczyk, and obviously they're not calling basketball. But in my opinion, NBC has the most clean, like, just best coverage of sports. I think when you're watching football games and you're watching Fox or ESPN, I don't like Fox or ESPN. I feel like it's like kind of glitchy, and I just don't like the people that work for them. I think CBS and NBC are the 2 best networks that get sports coverage out there. And I think the NBA moving to NBC is going to be amazing. We've already seen the Celtics on NBC Boston for years now, and NBC Boston has some of the most iconic memes over the last couple of years.
I
with,
love
like their post game captions and stuff, and
Yeah.
also obviously we have a great broadcasting duo with
Scallon Drew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Scallon
Scallon
Drew. But I think the NBC going to every team is so great for NBC and the NBA. It's an 11-year deal, so we're going to have this for a while. Obviously, it's a shame that we lose NBA on TNT, but we're not losing the crew.
We're not losing
They're
the crew.
still going to be together. It's just not on TNT. And some people can complain about that. Like, of course, they're going to lose like the behind-the-scenes family, I guess. But you got Ernie, Shaq, Chuck, and Kenny, and maybe more. I heard MJ.
You said it's
I
an
heard
11-year
Dirk.
deal.
I've heard. I
Yeah.
think Dirk.
Dude, oh, this just blew my mind. I'm gonna be 35 when that deal is over.
Oh wow.
It's all right. It's all right.
That just
No,
made
you're
me
not. No, you're not.
So
No, you're not.
I think
crazy.
then Amazon's gonna be streaming games too.
So the deal includes ABC, ESPN, and Prime Video.
Okay,
I love ABC. And ESPN's good for basketball. I was just kind of talking about football right there. I think NBC produces the most clean coverage of
Easily.
sports.
I think Amazon's going to be where Dirk's going to be, and I think Blake Griffin's going to be there. And Blake Griffin is someone that
He'd be fun to listen
I
to.
would love to just hear Blake Griffin
He'd
talk.
be fun
but
to listen to.
I need Michael Jordan to be an analyst.
Yeah.
Because I need
need
like
that.
Jordan's Pick'em or something like
Yeah.
sponsored by DraftKings and see what Jordan's cooking up on a
And
parlay.
Jordan would have no mercy for players. Like he'd be
Oh my God,
so
yeah.
brutally honest, and it'd actually make for pretty good
It'll
coverage.
He's
be
gonna get all his
deep
picks
content.
wrong, dude. He was a GM. He was terrible at it.
He was like the worst.
are gonna
GM.
be
No, he
terrible.
was
He was
such
a
a bad
terrible
GM.
GM. Yeah.
He's
I
really
should've
just
played
gonna like
that
just
GM.
talk smack about people. And it's gonna be entertaining. He'll be kind of like Chuck, but just like more of a jerk.
Yeah. It'll be a way more ruthless.
They
Charles
can't make
Barkley.
fun of him for no rings.
Yeah.
And speaking of just being negative, Tyler.
Yeah.
I know now it's time for the stock down part of this.
So my stock down is it's gonna have to do a little bit with what we were talking about before the show, like ratings. I'm gonna go streaming service prices as a stock down
Yep.
because we see ratings are down. Like we saw like Game 3 of the finals last year was 12 million viewers. This year it was like 7 million, 5 million viewer decrease. I think that has to do a lot with the prices. I think they really are getting those view numbers. The problem is I think a lot of those viewers, like the real fans, can't afford it because it's so expensive. So I think they're watching on like websites that are third-party sites. We won't say any names here because we got to protect everybody that uses them.
We all
True,
know
true,
the
true.
website.
We
We know the sites.
Yeah.
If you use them, you use them. If you have YouTube TV like me or whatever you guys use, that's where you'll be watching your games right now. But yeah, I'd say prices for streaming services as a whole is a big thing.
I watch everything illegal. Come get me.
Even now that a lot of people cut cable, stuff is still kind of expensive with
Yeah.
like other
Oh, yeah.
things.
It's not just the NBA, it's the NHL viewership that's also gone down, which is mind-blowing to me.
That's very
because this
crazy.
has been the best Stanley Cup in years. And last year was a 7-game series. And I think this year's Stanley Cup, looking back at it, is going to be the best Stanley Cup we've seen in years.
Oh, yeah.
But people literally just can't afford it. Like, who's going to pay all this extra money to watch it when you can just hear about it the
I
next
think
day?
I think right now YouTube TV for me is like 70 something a month,
Dude, it's
and
a
that's
ton.
like reasonably priced for
It's
other,
reasonably
for other
priced, but-
things. Yeah. The only thing that sucks about YouTube TV is you don't get Nessun. So I
Yeah.
can't watch the Red Sox.
No,
unless they're on,
exactly.
like, Fox.
Even it's bled into baseball too, where it's like if you cut the cable, you don't have Nessun. They have Nessun 360 now that you have to go pay
So
for. Like
terrible.
it's terrible right
The
now.
worst with it is the NFL. We've all
The
seen
NFL is the worst.
We've all
yeah.
seen
NFL
the
is very
upcoming
bad.
schedule this year. I've seen I can't remember the exact number, but they tallied up all of the subscription games. Like you need
Yeah.
Prime Video, like Disney Plus, ESPN Plus,
It's like 150
Speaking
bucks
of
a
Disney
year.
Plus,
NFL
Andrew.
Network, and it
So-
totals up to like if you want to watch every NFL game this season, hypothetically, you would need to spend I think it was like $2,500 in total to watch every game.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, I'll just take Red Zone and walk. Dude,
Yeah, exactly.
honestly.
Give me Red Zone, give me Fubo, I'll watch everything.
Andrew, so you are a Falcons fan. I need to ask. You mentioned Disney Plus. Was watching your favorite team play as Toy Story characters frustrating to you?
I didn't even do it. Like I was like I experimented with it. I was like I wonder what this is like, and I just went right back to YouTube TV. I was like, nah.
I don't know.
Because this year, remember the Simpsons game they did?
Yeah, no,
Was it on?
it was when they were in London.
Oh no, this was the Bengals game. Bengals Ravens, I think they did it in the Simpsons. Drew Carter was commentating.
That was the Simpsons. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I had
love Drew.
Jamar in fantasy, and Jamar had like a crazy game this night. But I'm like watching Lisa Simpson run towards the end zone, and I'm like, is that Jamar Chase? Is it Jamar Chase?
I will never watch the I tried it for the Falcons one and I hated every second of it, and I just went back to watching the normal game. Like it's fun, it's a fun idea, but like I just want to watch the game. It's not
Yeah,
that
I
much
feel
to
you.
ask for. I
The
just want to
NFL
watch
just
football.
knows they're not going to lose the ratings. Because the NFL just dominates in at least America. I'm
All
pretty
they
sure
care
like
about is
overseas.
No, the
money.
NFL's ratings are fun, and I mean,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm gonna keep watching the
I'll
NFL
keep
because
watching
the
the NFL,
NFL's
yeah.
I'll
the
watch
best.
no matter what. I'm not gonna be one of those people who are like, if they do
Exactly.
this, like I'm gonna stop watching. Dude,
I know you're
I'm
not. Like the
always gonna
NFL's the
watch.
best league in
I'm always
existence.
gonna
We are all
watch.
going to continue
Yeah.
to watch the NFL.
Speaking of the Bengals, I actually had a stock down.
Oh, yep.
All right,
So
let's hear it.
stock down. Spoiler: the Cincinnati Bengals with Shamar Stewart.
Yes.
That whole thing
Yeah.
is
That's
absolutely terrible. To the point now where we're legitimately talking like, if he doesn't sign his rookie contract, he'll just re-enter the draft next year. If you haven't seen, For some reason, the Bengals decided that this year, and specifically Shamar Stewart, is the perfect person and time to add a new clause into the rookie's contract, specifically like the first, second round guys, where if he gets hurt during like OTAs or anything like that, no guaranteed money for all that.
Yeah,
so they tried to work that in, and Shamar Stewart's like, I'm not. Like, why do I have to be the first guy? Like, that's
exactly.
terrible.
I think with the Bengals, we're getting to like Dan Snyder territory right now.
It's getting bad.
Where it's like
bad.
you're being so cheap, and
Yeah.
they have the like brokest owner in the entire NFL, by the way.
Yeah.
What's his name? Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Poorest owner in the entire NFL by like a landslide.
Yeah.
So he can't afford to pay any of these guys anyway. They're doing this with Shamar Stewart. They haven't paid the NFL sack leader yet.
Yeah.
And they're just going to wait out. We saw how long it took for them to pay both T. Higgins and Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
This has been a constant issue for the Bengals.
They,
And
they still haven't paid Trey yet either. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sack leader.
Yeah, but really,
okay.
really think of how many problems they've had in the last couple of years. So Jesse Bates left because they didn't give him the money he wanted.
when their
Bates
secondary
left.
was terrible, by the way, they needed him.
Last year was their worst secondary. Was the worst secondary in the league. It
They
was
missed
honestly
the
their worst
playoffs
secondary ever.
straight up because of the defense. It
Because
was
the def-
not
Yeah.
the offense's
when
fault
you
at all.
average 30-something points a game for the entire season and miss the playoffs, like
Yeah, you go
what?
9-8 on 30 points a game.
you have the number 2 QB and the number 1 receiver in fantasy because of how well they're playing.
There you go.
Because of the amount of stats they're producing together, and you're still missing the playoffs. And T. Higgins has this issue every offseason. I feel like the last 3 years, every summer, I'm hearing T. Higgins is going to leave. The Bengals aren't paying T. Higgins. T. Higgins hates it there. But then he just ends up re-signing. Trey Henderson, I'm surprised he's still there. I don't know when he's going to leave.
And then they caught the wrath too with Sam Hubbard retiring.
Yeah.
He was straight up like, "You guys suck. I'm walking."
Later.
Yeah.
Now they got all this stuff.
See ya.
Now they got all this stuff with the rookies. Like, it's
time
terrible.
It's time to sell.
It is time to sell.
And I
think
will say the
value,
second...
value's going to keep going down too. You have to sell the team right now and let new ownership like rebuild
Yeah.
and pay these guys with the money they can afford that you clearly can't.
I like how we're at a point now where we're smart enough as sports fans to not call Shamar Stewart a diva. Because back in the day, we're like, oh, sign the contract. You're playing in the NFL. It's like, no, dude, they just burned a first-round pick in him. You think he's going to be obviously a starting level defender. He was like a top, I think I had him in my top like 20 prospects.
Yeah.
And they got him like a little bit later than I think he should have gone. You spend a first-round pick on him, and now you don't have faith to pay the guy. Like, you don't have faith to pay him.
That's terrible.
Not even that. Just take the clause out of his
Exactly,
contract.
yeah.
Just take it out. And then,
The
you know,
clause is so unnecessary.
it's only for him.
This
which
is like
crazy.
Pittsburgh
So
Pirates
unnecessary.
level, like down bad.
Yeah.
Well,
it's terrible.
remember how down bad the Commanders used to be when Snyder owned them? You
Yeah.
touched on that earlier.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was like the lowest ever attendance. This is like the last years of them being the Redskins when they were switching to Commanders, like the late 2010s. Attendance was at an all-time low. The player happiness was an all-time low. Obviously, the player treatment, the locker rooms. Obviously, the stadium is terrible.
Yeah.
They sell the team. Snyder sells the team for like $6 billion. All of a sudden, they make the playoffs for the first time in years. They're now building a new stadium, which is going to be back in the D.C. area, and they're going to get
Then
new everything.
You
All of a
obviously
sudden,
have like a future top 5 QB in the league on your
and
team
all of a
now.
sudden, the Commanders are now one of the most ideal teams to play for with a new venue, and now fan engagement is at an all-time high. So the Bengals have an opportunity with Burrow and Chase to get back to that level.
Debo, who was in San Francisco, was like, yeah, I'll go to Washington.
Exactly.
You kidding me?
That
Yeah.
never would have happened 5
No,
years ago. Are
no
you kidding
way.
me?
He would have held out and be like, trade me.
No
I'm
way.
not playing here.
Yeah.
We got Jaden Daniels, got the new ownership. I don't know if they're going to call it FedEx Field. They need to get rid of that.
They're going to get rid of that
stadium.
name. Yeah, FedEx Field can never be named that
It's
again.
cursed.
And I agree. They struck gold with Jaden Daniels. That's part of what helped them get it back.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're still going to relocate anyway, get out of Andover, get a nice new stadium that doesn't literally deteriorate and collapse.
There you go, yeah.
The stands literally like they fall.
Jalen Hurts almost died.
Yeah. It's
And then
terrible.
the stadium also killed RG3's knees.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
it's
it.
killed a lot of people's
Killed a lot
knees.
of, I think that's
Ended
taking,
a lot of
taking
careers.
more ACLs than MetLife.
Yeah.
But
Met,
I mean,
MetLife
Parker's
needs
been-
to go too, by the way.
The turf needs to go.
Yeah.
And
But yeah.
MetLife's not even that old. It's like 2010 was when it dropped.
Stock down, Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah. Andrew, I need to hear.
So my stock down is also a franchise for a completely different reason. My stock down is the Washington Nationals.
Wow.
It sounds kind of odd, but let me just explain. I got a ton of statistics here for you guys. So
All right, I'm ready for it.
entering June 1st, they were 28-30, just behind the Phillies and the Mets in their division, which is a loaded division. The last 4 games in May, the runs scored. Here are the runs scored for the Nationals in their last 4 games in May. 9, 9, 9, and 11. They won all 4 of those games. Won a 4-game winning streak. They swept the Mariners and they beat the Diamondbacks. 2 solid teams. Then June 1st starts. Here are the amount of runs they've scored since June 1st. 1, 3, 2, that was a win. 1, 2, that was a win. 0, 2, 4, 0, 3.
So they lost 4 and 3 also.
Yes, every one of those runs I didn't mention the W. They are now 2 and 8 in their last 10, starting on June 1st. They ended May with 9 runs, 9 runs, 9 runs, 11 runs. Have since not gotten past 5 runs and are now 2 and 8 in their last 10. They are now 30 and 38, 14 and a half games behind the Mets, 9 games behind the Phillies. They were 28 and 30 entering June 1st with a chance to go on a win streak to start off June and potentially have a winning record, maybe past the Phillies, because the Phillies have also been kind of trending down. They've not been playing good. Obviously, the Mets probably stocking up. They've been
Mets
unbelievable.
are stocking up very
Mets
well
have been
right
playing
now.
unbelievable.
Soto
lately.
finally found his bat too.
Soto found his bat.
Getting back to the Nationals.
But I mean,
did one of their guys get hurt? Like, James Wood was on fire in the month of May. Like, what happened there?
I have no idea. But the pitching has been really good. The scores of these games are like 4-3, 3-1, 3-2, 2-1. Like, the pitching has been good for the Nats. They just can't put bat to ball.
Cruz isn't back yet, right? Is he still on IL?
He's still on IL.
That's unfortunate. That was like a top 3 prospect right there.
But yeah, no, I don't think Abrams or Wood are hurt at all. I think they're both fine.
I think you got to just bring back the cherry blossom jerseys and then they'll be good.
Yeah, the blue ones are not it.
They're nice, but they're not cherry blossoms.
The cherry blossoms were amazing.
That was just a different type
They were
of
at 28 and 30. We know the Nats have not been good since their World Series appearance. They've been the lowest of lows of franchises in sports.
Yeah.
At least
28 and 30, now 30 and 38.
At least now the Soto trade's finally starting to pay off.
I still think the Soto trade is definitely paying off, especially because Soto's not on.
You got 2 of the best young lefty bats in the game right now.
Yeah, Soto's not even on the Padres anymore. I think we can agree that Nats won the trade there.
Yeah. Now, because Padres didn't get the push that they needed at that time.
No.
So, yeah. I think that's all for Stock Up, Stock Down.
Yep, that's going to do it.
Let's get into a segment we haven't done in a while, Final Roster. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone, to Final Roster. This is going to be the start bench cut. I'm going to lead us off, fellas.
All right.
Honestly, I didn't have a good one going into this, so I'm going to go to the old-fashioned debate with a little kind of twist thrown in there. Start bench cut, Cheez-Its, Goldfish.
Oh, wow.
Chips Ahoy.
Oh, wow.
Blue or red?
Yeah, blue or red Chips Ahoy.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Oh,
I'm a man of class.
Wow. Thank you.
This is tough. This is a lot of tough.
I know.
I totally saw a sports one coming. Curveball in the dirt.
No,
here.
I had nothing. I was like,
a quick knuckleball, a quick 50-mile-an-hour knuckleball. The guy should just swing about 5 seconds early.
Will Tim Wakefield over here? Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I was just
Quick
like,
Stephen Wright knuckleball.
I'm pretty sure I know what his number one's gonna be, considering the sign we made him for graduation. So yeah.
That's true. That's why I did it. I heard there was some turmoil between the
MCM
grand
has
debate.
been arguing recently about this, but it's not necessarily.
It's the first 2. That's
But we've had arguments about Cheez-Its and Goldfish, and we've also had arguments about original Cheez-Its versus extra toasty Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
That has been the argument, and
I think
my order is going to be. Actually, I don't know.
Right?
So I am starting Cheez-Its. I'm saying that. Cheez-Its are the GOAT.
Fair.
Chips Ahoy and Goldfish is so tough because Goldfish are consistent, but when you have a good Chips Ahoy, oh my goodness gracious. It is it slaps every time.
so. Dude, I have mine, but this is like a harder decision for me than trading Marcus Smart. Just keep that in mind when I make this ranking, okay?
Okay.
Number 1, we're starting Goldfish. Smile back, snack that smiles back. We're starting Goldfish. Andrew, I'm sorry, but we're benching Chips Ahoy.
Oh my goodness.
I'm very sorry. I love
goodness.
Cheez-Its and Cheez-Its getting cut, but dude, it hurts.
There should never be a scenario where Cheez-Its gets cut.
I'm so
That is
sorry. I just
actually
like the other 2
insane.
better.
No, that's insane.
It just had to happen.
We can't cut Cheez-Its.
I
That's
didn't
crazy.
want it to happen, but it just had to. This is
No, you don't
personal
understand.
preference.
You can't cut Cheez-Its.
It had to happen.
No, it doesn't have to happen.
One of them had to
you
go.
can't cut Cheez-Its.
I'm sorry.
You literally can't do that. That's a crime.
I'm sorry, dude. It was tough.
I didn't expect
Oh
that
my
answer.
Dude, he's gonna
That
go.
is
Dude,
crazy.
Jesus is gonna go to a great organization. We just didn't have space for him on the roster.
Well,
I'm so sorry.
I'm taking Cheez-Its. I'm paying him the Supermax. I'm starting Cheez-Its. I think I'm gonna bench Goldfish and cut Chips Ahoy because Goldfish is so consistent. It's like, in my opinion, Goldfish is the best travel snack.
Yes.
You're going anywhere, you're going on like, we're gonna throw it back because none of us are in school anymore. Like a school field trip, you bring Goldfish with you.
I will say, this was a long time debate for me going back to like 2022, like my sophomore year in college, me and my roommate were so fed up that we could not decide that we made a full tier list of snacks because we like couldn't agree with what was happening. Shout out Tom Delory, D-Lo. And then we got so fed up that we made like a poll and took it around campus.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
For who, like, what was the answer? We put it up on my Instagram, and then I forget what we did. I like I tried to like put a QR code, like a dining hall and something. I'm like, go and vote like now.
Was it between Cheez-Its and Goldfish?
It was between Cheez-Its and Goldfish.
What side are you?
We could not decide. I'm gonna tell you right now. So my start is gonna be Goldfish.
No!
I'm a Goldfish guy. I know.
Bang.
Goldfish guy. But I love Cheez-Its though. I'm
Okay,
gonna bench
like,
Cheez-Its and then I'm gonna
yeah.
cut Chips Ahoy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
dude,
we
I'm
all
just
have
like,
different answers.
they're
It's
all
crazy.
elite.
We did all have different answers.
Don't get it wrong.
Oh,
They're
yeah, no.
all
Yeah,
elite
they're
players.
all so good. They're
Exactly.
all
Elite
so
players.
good.
Hardest decision ever made right there.
The reason I had to cut Chips Ahoy, I think, is just because of the mess.
Yes,
Chips
Yeah.
Ahoy
that
makes a
is
mess.
true.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Goldfish
why
does
Goldfish
not.
was the one. Goldfish never makes a mess.
If no
No,
one,
it
if
doesn't.
no
It
one's
really
got
doesn't.
me, I know Goldfish got
Yeah,
me.
for real.
Right? Like that's what I
Goldfish
think.
is the
They're
consistency.
consistent.
Goldfish
They
is
are.
the consistency.
I
Now,
will say, here's my hot take though:
All right,
white cheddar Cheez-Its.
never had them. Oh,
No.
the extra toast.
What?
No.
Extra
Those
toast.
are
Extra toasty's not happy over there.
Extra toasty's great. Extra toasty's great, dude. The white cheddar Cheez-Its.
No,
Yeah.
Heat.
no,
Heat.
no, they're not.
He's boiling them.
Educate
they're not.
yourself.
No, this
They're
is terrible.
good.
This
They're
is so terrible.
good.
No, this is so
No.
terrible.
I
Andrew,
swear.
we gotta get to yours, bro, before you like blow a
Oh
fuse
my
over
god,
there.
this is so crazy. No, this is so
Alright.
crazy. Oh
Alright,
my god,
Andrew,
this is,
send us
we
some-
can have a whole segment on just. You know what? Next time Will's on, we're gonna have a snack edition of all of On the Clock. Like sum it up, stock up, stock
It's
down,
all
like the whole thing.
Yeah,
We're
there
gonna have that is so happening.
Alright.
Next time Will's on, we're so doing that because
I love that.
oh my goodness.
I brought some controversy to
There you
the.
go.
One more question. One more
Sports
question
Wire.
though. Will Nicholson, cheddar or flavor blasted goldfish?
Ooh,
Wow.
that's tough. You know what? Give me cheddar. I like flavor blasted,
I
but
agree
I
with
just
you.
I just like
I
the
agree
OG,
with
man.
you.
I just like
Cheddar
the OG.
goldfish is the
Elite.
always there for you,
Yeah.
like you guys said. Cheddar goldfish, literally never go wrong.
Yeah.
So moving away from this one won't be nearly as heated, but it is. This is random though. So I decided to do Insanity runs. These are like
Ooh.
I decided to do final roster of Insanity runs. So imagine these guys played their whole career like they did at this time. So we have C.J. Anderson from the 2014 Broncos, James Robinson, 2020 Jaguars, or Jonas Gray that one game on the Patriots in 2014.
I love
That
that.
what the Jonas Gray game.
Start, bench, cut. Jonas Gray, C.J. Anderson, James Robinson.
I love this.
If they were like constantly in their prime for a
Okay.
couple of years.
I love this so much. This is a good one. I got my answer already. I'm
Yeah,
not
you
gonna
go for
lie.
it.
All right,
I'm ready to hear it because I still don't have my answer. I'm like debating about this.
I'm cutting C.J. Anderson straight up. That's my cut.
All right.
Because I think the other two, like 2020 James Robinson was like a top 10 running back.
Dude, he
Like,
literally
he
had like
was
1,500
nasty.
scrimmage yards. It was
Yeah.
insane.
He was so sick. He was like even catching the ball out of the backfield, like he was nuts. So I'm gonna bench James Robinson, dude. That one game, Jonas Gray was
Like
absolutely.
you guys
Jonas
don't know
Gray
the Jonas Gray game.
Yeah.
I think he had 200 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It was, and then just never heard
Versus
from
a
again.
good Colts defense,
Versus
dude.
versus-
a really good Colts. They played us in the
And
AFC
in the
Championship.
AFC Championship, the
Yeah.
team that made the AFC Championship, Jonas Gray decided to have
Ran
200
all
yards
over
and 4
them.
touchdowns.
And then he was late for a meeting, and Bill
then never heard from again.
I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the same as Will right there. Start Jonas
Yeah.
Gray, bench James Robinson, cut C.J. Anderson.
I don't think you guys understand. The Jonas Gray game has a special place in my heart.
It was-
I was like 13, 14-year-old Will, and I saw Jonas Gray just go absolute nuclear. I'm like, dude, this guy's the future. I'm like, we found
That's a
our
more
running back.
insanity run than Patriots AB.
Yeah, oh yeah.
100%, because that was literally the only time we ever saw him. He was never seen again.
Didn't play again.
He literally had a 200-yard, 4-touchdown game, and then never saw the field again because Bill cut him.
Other than Lynn Sanity himself, I think you have to start Jonas Gray.
Yeah.
I agree. Like,
Jeremy
that
Lin,
is like-
that 1 week of Jeremy Lin is the only valid argument to take over.
I mean, when your name is the Linsanity run, you have to be
Yeah,
number
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
That's
the fact. Don't forget about C.J. Anderson though. Like he had a stud end of the year
He
that
did.
year.
He did.
But James Robinson had 1,500 scrimmage. I still think it's a mistake that the Jaguars chose ETN over Robinson.
Yeah.
ETN's not good.
That's a very big mistake. Hold on, I need to
Yep.
I need to say something about Travis Etienne.
Going
I
on
drafted Travis
Etienne
Etienne in
is a
fantasy last
mistake.
year.
It's gonna get heated.
Played like crap the entire year. Worst second-round pick of my entire life.
You picked Etienne in
I
fantasy?
picked Etienne in the second
Well,
round
they
last
like
year.
moved on from Etienne. He was splitting reps with what's his name?
Yeah, number 4.
Tank Dell?
Yes.
Tank Bigsby. Tank Bigsby.
Tank
Tank
Bigsby.
Bigsby. I
Yes.
was like, no,
Bigsby
I
had
know.
more fantasy points than
Yeah.
Etienne did last
Sorry,
year.
I just needed to.
think. I don't
you
know
had
that, but
you
I
said the
think.
devil's name.
I'm
I had to-
looking up Jonas Gray's stats, by the way. I need to know.
You mentioned the devil. I'm sorry, Andrew. I had to give a quick rant right there.
No, of course. Yeah, no. I still think James Robinson had so much potential after a 1,400 scrimmage yard season because, like Will said, he was a receiving back, dude. He was racking up receiving numbers
He was
along with rushing
powerful,
numbers.
too.
Yes.
He wasn't just like an elusive back like Etienne. He had some power in his legs.
An undrafted free agent, and also someone I almost put on here was Antonio Gibson.
Oh, wow,
he,
yeah.
he also had a legendary 2020
Commanders,
run.
Antonio Gibson.
Yeah. Like the Antonio Gibson that I think was probably the same year as James Robinson.
Yeah.
That was never heard from again.
Jonas
Not
Gray's
even
stats are
Commanders, Tyler.
hilarious.
It was the Washington football team. Antonio
Oh, wow.
Gibson.
Oh, wow.
That was before they were the Commanders.
Dang.
So what do we got on
The
Jonas
Jonas
Gray?
Gray stats are hilarious.
What do we
What
got?
are they?
So, all right. 2014, he played 8 games with the Patriots. He had 400 yards, 5 touchdowns.
All of
Oh, wow.
half of that.
Yeah.
All of his touchdowns, besides one, were from that game, and
80
half of his yards were from
Yeah.
that game.
80% of the touchdowns, 50% of the yards from one game.
That's crazy.
His other years, in 2015, he moved to 3 other teams where he had, what is this? 176 yards in 8 games, 122, and then 54. And then he was out of the league.
Oh, damn.
That is the craziest thing I think
That's
ever.
that's the fastest like peak and fall off I've ever heard of.
He won AFC Player of the Week against one of the best defenses in the league, and then was just never brought
Wait,
up again.
hold
yeah.
on. The story.
Oh, no.
2015 stats are from the preseason.
Oh, wow.
So he literally just
he
never.
never suited up in the regular season. Yeah.
No, so he was
Probably
with New
insane,
England in 2015. I don't know who he played for. It says team 2TM. I don't know what that means. I have
Oh, yeah,
no
it's just 2
idea.
teams.
Yeah, he played
So,
for 2
uh,
different teams in the preseason, and then was never heard from
So
again.
and then he went to Miami, and then got cut by Miami. Went to Jacksonville, got cut,
Damn.
and then never went back to the league.
Well,
but
that's
that
so
one
crazy.
game
That
in New
one
England.
Jonas
But
Gray
that
game.
one game he could have had forever.
I could have got
That's
him
my
like, a
story.
receiver max
All
right
right,
That's
there.
my
Teebs,
start.
your
All right.
turn.
Is the same guy 3 times. It's Dodgers Otani, Angels Otani, or World Baseball Classic Otani.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I think off rip I might cut Dodgers Otani.
I was gonna say
See,
the
I
thing
was
with
thinking
Dodgers
that.
Otani is he's not pitching.
He hasn't
right?
pitched
Exactly.
yet. That's the problem.
That's
yeah.
my reason.
But he went 50-50.
Like that's
so
the
true.
thing.
That's
I
so
don't-
true. That's
Dodgers
so
Otani
No.
invented his own club.
Oh my gosh.
It's so difficult.
I don't know.
What's the appeal of
So
What was
World,
it, the
World
World of
Baseball
Baseball?
Classic Otani did literally everything.
He did.
He was a starter and he was a closer.
okay?
He was a starter, he was a closer, and he carried Japan against the dominant United States team, which was probably significantly better than the Japan team.
Think
Yeah.
he was the best pitcher on a team with like the 2 craziest pitching prospects of all time on the team,
That is
Yamamoto
ridiculous.
and Roki.
Yes, and
Dude, this is really tough.
oh my
I don't, I don't believe what I've just done. Okay, off the bat,
I think truthfully, what was it, Angels Otani?
Yeah.
I think that's my cut.
really.
Unfortunately, I think that's my cut.
Angels Otani was going to be my start.
Really?
2-time MVP.
yeah, like that's the thing. When I think
Started the All-Star game as a pitcher and a DH.
that's what I mean. When I think of Angels Otani, I think of the Japanese Babe Ruth. That's how he got his name, and I think of
Yeah.
like first pitch crushing, like
Yeah,
that
oh
Otani.
my God,
he
that-
did that every day.
I feel like I can't cut Dodgers Otani because of 50-50, right?
I mean, dude, this is
Where
why
does
I did it.
Otani place in the all-time rankings? When do we get that
He's
started?
already top 10.
Like when do
Top
we?
10.
When does Otani?
He's already a
be-
3-time MVP and has a World Series.
and has a World Series.
Yeah.
So that's
And-
gonna no, not yet, but down the line. I'm not saying
And
yet.
could potentially.
Down the line, that could put him over Barry Bonds. Not yet. Definitely not yet.
No,
Don't-
down the line,
don't take-
Otani has a chance to become the GOAT of baseball.
Yes,
Wouldn't shock
I'm
me.
100% on the bandwagon.
Yeah, yeah.
I am
I've been on
too.
that bandwagon since
I'm
the
there.
first LA team.
yeah. I'm
So
I just didn't buy a jersey because I knew he was gonna leave the Angels.
I,
there. yeah.
I,
Smart.
I can't believe
strategic.
I'm about to cut 50-50 Otani, but I think I literally might do it.
I mean, I think he was just so dominant in World Baseball.
Dude, he
Classic.
beat the United States with like
and he struck out Mike Trout to like win it.
Yeah.
that. It was so sick.
that's
crazy.
Well, like obviously, like Japan, like you said, had 2 of the best pitching prospects. But in turn, like,
And
do
he
you-
was
do you
still the
remember-
best. He was still the best.
remember
out of
the-
Roki and Yamamoto.
Do you remember the USA's lineup, like hitting lineup?
Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner, Mike Trout,
Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge.
It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen, and Otani beat all of them.
all of them. Yeah, so
I don't know.
I think we all have the same order here. I don't know. I have Angels Ohtani start, World Baseball Classic Ohtani bench, cut Dodgers Ohtani. Even though I'm cutting a guy that literally went 50-50.
No, but he went 50. I might have.
That's what I'm saying.
I might have
Billy,
to
that's
cut
what I'm
World Baseball
saying.
Classic Ohtani.
No,
I literally
no.
can't do.
This is so
Okay,
difficult.
so Angels Ohtani resume, right? He's got what? 2 MVPs.
2 MVPs, started the All-Star game as DH and a pitcher.
Okay.
And he finished like top 5 in Cy Young voting like multiple times.
Here's my
have to
argument
start
for
Angels
cutting.
Ohtani.
No, but here's my
When he starts
My-
pitching, Dodgers Ohtani's gonna be number 1.
oh yeah, easily. But here's my reasoning for, my pitch to cut Angels Ohtani. He didn't win. And the other two, he won, right? He won World of Baseball and has a World Series as the
No,
Dodgers.
you're right.
That is
So
true.
the numbers of Angel Ohtani
The
are
thing
good.
is, I don't give him that much slack because the Angels are quite literally
they're
a
awful.
cursed franchise.
They're terrible.
They
Ever
haven't-
since they gave Anthony Rendon $300 million to just sit in the clubhouse and do nothing,
They
they've
haven't
been
made the
cursed.
playoffs with Mike Trout in like 7 years. Like
Yeah.
that's
Dang.
it's not really Ohtani's.
No,
How do you have Ohtani and Trout in the same team and you don't make the playoffs?
that's wild.
because you're giving Anthony Rendon $300 million, and you could use that to spend on other people.
I just can't believe they did that.
I'm sticking to
How
my
many more
gut.
years is he there for?
I'm sticking to my gut. I'm cutting Angels Ohtani.
Oh, wow.
I'm
All right.
benching I'm benching Dodgers because 50-50 is insane. I gotta have the 50-50 there, and then I'm starting World of Baseball Ohtani just because
WBC Ohtani was like,
I still don't have an answer.
right.
Oh, wow.
It's a tough one.
dude, I didn't think this was gonna stump you as much. Wow, I came with the heat today.
Well,
Jeez.
because he's been the same player for all 3 teams, but he just keeps getting better in different ways
keep
each way.
getting better.
Like,
the only thing holding back Dodgers Ohtani from being the consensus start is
pitching.
his
It's
pitching.
literally pitching.
but Dodgers Ohtani also had the greatest day in baseball history. Was
That's
it,
what
like
I'm
literally
saying,
on the call.
it was
What was he? 6 for 6?
6 for 6, 3 home runs, and he entered the 50-50.
Yeah.
The greatest day in the history
stolen
of
bases
baseball.
that day,
2
too.
stolen bases too.
Dude, the fact that you can have a 50-50 and you're not even reaching your peak is absolutely wild.
Think,
Stupid.
people were calling, what was it? What did Jose Canseco start 30-30 or 40-40? He started one of those. People said that was like the craziest thing ever when he did that. Ohtani
Oh my
did
God.
10 or 20 more than that.
How is 50-50 even? Like sometimes I think about it, I'm just like, how is that even possible?
Hey, dude, right after the announcer said greatest day in baseball history, what do you say after that? One of a kind player.
One of a kind.
One of a kind.
And he
player.
didn't pitch. Half of why you want Ohtani is because
But the
he's
fact that he's a
phenomenal
50-50
pitcher.
player and he also is going to be a Cy Young
insane.
winner almost.
And he's gonna have a sub 3
insane.
ERA, like, dude.
The guy's an
That's
animal.
not
Well, now we're not even getting to the start bench cut. We're just talking about how good Shohei Ohtani
This
is.
has just
as a
become a
player.
glaze.
Shohei Ohtani.
I
segment.
literally don't know how to answer because we're just glazing Ohtani.
So
You're not gonna get a right answer. I
And-
just fired.
Andrew's
when
gonna
I
be.
felt right.
Andrew's gonna be. I don't know. 'Cause I think we've literally stumped him.
My rough draft was Angels Ohtani World Baseball Classic and then Dodgers Ohtani, so I'm going to stick with that, but I
Alright,
hate
alright.
it.
So me and Andrew have the same pick. Start Angels Ohtani, bench World Baseball Classic Ohtani, and cut 50-50
But
Ohtani.
he had a
Just-
50-50
Just because he hasn't
season.
pitched. Just because he hasn't pitched yet. Don't get it
I
wrong.
know,
He's-
but-
he's elite. But when he pitches, Dodgers Ohtani is gonna be at the top. no
When you
matter
finish
That's gonna
top
age
5
like
in Cy
milk,
Young
by the way.
multiple
He's gonna
times,
start.
though.
When is he back to pitching? Like it's gonna be
it
this
should be
season,
this
right?
season.
Yeah.
They said this season, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just like let him go till next year because they still do have like.
They have- They have.
Why would you? Their pitching's fine right
Yeah,
now.
their
Like, you
pitching
can-
is amazing.
They have
right
like
now.
3
You
Cy
keep
Young
him
candidates
healthy.
in that rotation.
That's what I'm
They have
saying,
Glasnow,
dude.
Blake Snell, and well, he's not a Cy Young candidate anymore, but they still have Kershaw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Kershaw's always gonna be Kershaw. You'll never be able to hit the curveball ever.
it's going to be. Yeah, so
This was a really good one.
that one was so good.
I
That
thought it
one
was just so
tough.
random, but I didn't think it would be like that heavy of a hitter.
And that got me thinking of like in the future, what if we did like prime Tom Brady for all 3 of those years? But I feel like that'd be kind of easy. I feel like we'd all have. We don't have to answer it right now, but if we did
Yeah.
like 2001 to 2008 Tom Brady,
Yeah.
09 to 2017 Tom Brady, and then like
17,
18 to 22 Tom
Yeah.
Brady, something like that.
Yeah.
I think so.
So yeah.
I'm trying to think of it right now.
Let
I
us-
don't have
let
an
us know
answer.
You
What
know,
Ohtani-
we'll answer that
yeah.
eventually.
Let us know what Ohtani's you would take.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
let
Ohtani
us
you
know
sign,
what
what
Ohtani
I
you
need
would
to
take.
know. I'm not a huge baseball head, and I feel like I had a good reasoning.
I think
Yeah.
final roster just got some serious stock up right there.
Cook,
We just had a bunch of new developments here in
stock up on final
in final
roster.
roster.
So now we're gonna send it to another favorite segment. This is gonna be the last time we do it in this format, I think. Send it to the Wheel of Takes.
Welcome to Wheel of Takes. As always, we got the virtual wheel. Me and Tyler, like we mentioned, we did go shopping for a physical wheel. We couldn't find it, so we're gonna
We went to Amazon, and I
Yep.
actually
Soon.
I witnessed Andrew make the purchase, so it's gonna be here soon.
it'll be here soon. So we're gonna start with Tyler, as always. So let's get the wheel spinning here. Your topic is breakout star.
Breakout star. All right, I like.
How about
that.
this? You can't go big three in Boston.
I was about to say.
We've talked about them enough.
Yeah, we've put a lot of
I
goals
love
on the
that.
big three in Boston.
We talk about the Red Sox too much, and I think
That was the
two
first
people
spot my
that
mind
watch-
went.
I think the two people that watch are getting annoyed of us talking about the Red Sox so much.
I'm also texting a lot of. I don't think I'm allowed to say Giancarlo Stanton either, even though he's playing in like AA right now because he's just rehabbing. So I'm not gonna say him either. All right, give me a second.
Yeah, we'll give you a
quick
second.
intermission.
Yep.
All right, guys, I have my breakout star. So now there's a team in the NFL that I think has 5 QBs in the QB room right now, right?
All right.
The Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
I love this.
So I think Joe Flacco is going to start out as a starter, but I think
Really?
the breakout star is going to be not Shador Sanders, but Dylan Gabriel from the Oregon Ducks. I think Dylan Gabriel will get the starting job. I don't know how good he's going to be. Well, I don't think you like this take a lot,
No.
but I think
I don't know if I'm with you either, man.
I think
don't know
I
if
think
I'm
he'll
with you.
become the starter. I don't know if he'll be like Pro Bowl level, but I think he'll be a serviceable starter. For the Cleveland
What a
Browns.
clown car that QB room is.
Yeah, I know. It's so terrible.
So bad.
It's so
First
bad.
of all, Flacco being the starter was the first. I don't think Flacco's going to start. I think if anything, it's probably Kenny Pickett. But truthfully, I've been a Shador defender from the beginning. I get the reason he fell to even the second, third round, whatever. But the blatant disrespect just because his last name is Sanders, a little insane to me. But no, Dylan Gabriel, I'm so out on, dude.
That's me. I mainly
am
made
too.
that pick for my
I
brother
am too.
All right,
because
fair
my
enough.
brother's a big Oregon fan, so
Fair
I
enough.
gotta support little bro a little bit.
Well, Oregon is not good.
Yeah, they just have cool jerseys though.
They do have
They
cool
do have the
jerseys.
sickest jerseys
They have
ever,
real
but Oregon
jerseys.
could just never get there. Last year was supposed to be their year, and Dylan Gabriel is one of the reasons that they didn't get there.
Yeah.
He got locked.
That
up
offense-
I
by
would say
Ohio
that, but
State.
they also did end up playing Ohio State in the first round.
Yeah, I
which,
guess.
like,
Yeah, but I mean, Ohio State has guys that are in the NFL now, and if you're going to be a breakout NFL star, you got to be able to
Yeah.
perform against NFL caliber players.
Very
I actually,
true.
funny enough, I talked about this on my podcast not too long ago. Dylan Gabriel had that offense literally made for him because he doesn't have the size. He's got a pretty strong arm, but he's kind of got like that Drew Brees build. They just ran the spread offense with all these super quick guys and these long athletes, and then he just threw for a lot of yards and touchdowns, and then they still didn't win.
He's not going to have that comfort in Cleveland.
No.
yeah,
That's why I don't know.
I respect it. I just don't agree.
that's more of like a long-term investment take. I don't think it's gonna
Fair.
happen right away.
It
But
wouldn't happen in Cleveland. 'cause
No, it wouldn't.
Obviously, Gabriel will not be a Brown for his entire career.
Probably
He'll
not.
definitely get
shot.
moved somewhere else. He'll get shipped somewhere else. And
Yeah.
I think eventually he'll do kind of like what Sam Darnold did. Like, we'll be like, yeah, this guy's over. And then maybe he goes to another team. Maybe he performs there. But
maybe.
I don't think so. I don't like Dylan Gabriel at all, actually. There are a lot of quarterbacks in this draft class. I know there's 10 got drafted, something like that. A lot of them.
I could have just said Cam Ward and Ben Basic because I think he's gonna be good.
No,
but
you took a shot. I respect
I
it.
No, I respect it,
I need
yeah.
to spice it up a little
I
bit.
respect it.
I
I still think it's going to take
I
Cam
don't
Ward a
like
couple
any of the
years, too.
quarterbacks
Yeah.
in this draft.
Yeah, no, I don't like many of them.
Yeah.
I think next year it's going to be stacked.
Next
Next year's gonna be really good.
Next year's going to
Yeah.
be stacked.
So,
Hopefully, have Arch Manning come out.
Will's turn.
All right,
It's the
so
first time
Will,
it's been a
Sure.
Will.
You're
I
up.
know.
Let's get
Could rip it.
let's get
I
a
feel like we need
record.
some Jeopardy music. Like,
That's Sean gave us that last
Sean
time.
did give us that last time in the
Really?
studio. Yeah.
that's so sick.
Your topic is most overrated. So like a player, a team, anything
Oh,
that's
this-
overrated.
This is the Will Nicholson category right here, guys.
This is the Will Nicholson category. Most overrated.
time to think, yeah.
Wow.
We'll give you time to
Yeah,
think.
give me a second. I'll be
Alright, yeah.
back. I think I've came up with my my overrated. It's a player. I'll say this: they're not even drafted yet.
Oh wow.
I
we
wanna
do
take
college
this-
around
I
here.
think I
Yeah.
know where you're going.
I want to take this to the NBA draft.
I know where you're going.
Do you? All right. So
I
it's
think.
it's not Cooper Flack.
Okay.
I think Coop's gonna be fine. Dylan Harper, I think, is incredibly
Wow.
overrated.
Dude.
Guard from Rutgers, I think Ace Bailey's a whole lot better.
Spurs don't even want to take Harper second
Yeah,
overall right now.
I don't blame him. But that's like the way that it's mocked, at least right now, is Flag 1, Harper 2nd, and then like Ace Bailey somewhere in 3rd. I don't like Dylan Harper at all. I don't see. Ace Bailey's also Rutgers, right?
Yeah.
And I like that he's got like another spark of athleticism that's entertaining. Dylan Harper was just like a scorer on a team that was bad. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And when you have a teammate like that, so this is completely out of the blue.
But I
Like
think you
this
can
is
say
very
that,
random.
you can say
take.
that same thing about like Cade at like Oklahoma State.
That's
and now
fair.
look at how Cade's turned out.
But also, you saw the flashes with Cade. You saw like the elite type of scoring. Dylan Harper, he just kind of scored because the teams Rutgers played weren't that good.
He was the one that
they
hit
didn't
like
make
the
the
half-court
tournament.
game winner, right?
Well, that's not true. They played good teams. They were in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't make the tournament.
No, they didn't
You know
make the
what I mean?
tournament. I agree. Rutgers was good. If you have Harper and Bailey on the team, you should make the tournament.
100%,
I agree,
yeah.
100%. That definitely speaks to kind of both of them. I think Harper is cocky because his dad was Ron Harper, and I think he's got some of that father-son cockiness. And generally, recent father-son players have not really performed well. Recent kids
Exactly.
of
The only
NBA
father-son
have not
players that
really-
perform well are all the ones that whose parents were like role players. Like if you look
Yeah.
at it, Kobe's dad was a role
Well,
player.
Curry.
Ron Harper is also
Curry's
a role
dad
player.
was a
Yeah.
role player.
He
Ron,
was a starter, but
he was a
Yeah.
starter, but he was a role
he's not like
player.
Ron Harper's not a superstar,
No,
but like you know who he
Yeah,
is.
thinking like Kobe's dad, Del Curry,
Yeah.
Kevin Love's dad,
Yeah.
Devin Booker's dad, Tito Horford.
Exactly.
All these
Let's
guys
think
were like role
about it.
players.
If Ron Harper wasn't on the Bulls, would you really know who Ron Harper was?
No.
No, maybe only because of Cleveland I would have known him because he was on the team when Jordan hit the shot.
But besides that though,
Yeah.
say Ron Harper was always on the team. Are you really gonna know Dylan Harper is Ron Harper's kid?
Not really, no.
Like,
I guess.
Because then look at some superstars kids that like aren't.
I know it's a really
The only
that's a
superstar-
really stupid way to judge if Ron Harper's gonna be
Yeah.
good or not.
The-
But I think Ron Harper is
Yeah.
stupid talented. But I think his ego is gonna get in the way, like
That's
a lot
my
of these
thing.
young guys
And
does. 'cause
I
he
hate
has the
being that
skill
guy.
for it.
Yeah.
But he's gonna think he's too good for it sometimes.
I hate being that guy too. That's like, oh, like the new age, the new gen of players, blah blah blah. I just think that he's kind of gotten away with not even being Ron Harper's son, but just being a hyper talented guard. I think he's gotten away with it to the point where it's like, oh, because he was on all the AAU circuits, right? Everyone knew who Ron Harper
Yeah.
was. I think he played for RWE, which always gets a ton of attention when
See a
they
lot of
play.
recognition. Yeah.
And he played for them. And then he goes over to Rutgers, and he really didn't play. I wasn't impressed with what he did at Rutgers. You know what I mean? He was a good scorer,
Yeah,
but
like, exactly.
other than that, they lost a lot of
Exactly.
games.
Him
man.
and Ace had amazing stats, but
Yeah.
Rutgers finished like 500. I think maybe sub
Yeah.
500. I don't
And
know.
maybe that's not fair because I give Ace a pass just because Ace is crazy athletic and actually super talented.
He fits, like, this
Ace
NBA
looks,
mold very well.
He looks like an NBA player, right? He gives me very much of like maybe Jaren Jackson vibes, just a little bit smaller, a little more twitchier, athletic. I'm out on Dylan Harper. I wouldn't draft him in like the top 5.
I think
Even
Dylan
probably
Harper is an
10.
acceptable 4 or 5 pick. I don't think he should
Yeah.
go 2. I'm not exactly out on Dylan Harper. I agree with you that he's definitely cocky, but
Yeah.
dude, he's so
I can just see him
talented.
flaming out in the
He's so
league though. I
talented.
can just like see
I
him
can too.
going to a team.
Maybe like a Michael Carter Williams type of career.
Yeah,
Maybe.
exactly. I was even gonna say like I can, not to the extent of this, but I can see like a Killian Hayes, Kobe White, where they get drafted
Really?
like way too early and they just cannot adjust. That's my biggest fear.
Dude,
with Dylan
that's
Harper.
like two completely different stories, though. You
Yeah,
got
I was about
Kobe
to say,
White,
yeah, where
who's
did
like
that-
one of the best development stories
No,
from a rookie.
he was
Then you got
good.
Killian Hayes,
Yeah,
who
Killian
just
Hayes is
straight
terrible.
up sucks.
I think he's
Killian
somewhere in the
Hayes
middle
is
of
the
that.
worst
But I
player I've
think
ever
why I
watched in
said
the NBA.
why I said Kobe White is because Kobe White his first couple of years was not good.
He was not that great.
You expected
No.
him to be like an all-star guard. Like people had a lot of hype for Kobe when he came
Dude,
in.
I wasn't on Kobe
And now he's
White.
like
I was a believer.
now he's a good NBA
Now he
player,
is good.
right?
Well, I was a
I
believer in
think-
Bulls Kobe White at the very beginning.
I think
Exactly.
a lot of that has to do with the fact that there's no more Levine and DeRozan there.
Yeah,
I think they were like,
maybe.
because they're too much of like scorers.
Well, here's the thing. If the Spurs take Dylan Harper, then I kind of agree with you. Harper's not going to have a big role in San Antonio the first
Yeah.
couple of years.
Yeah.
What's he gonna be like? Third option?
That's what I'd imagine.
Wemby 1, Castle 2.
De'Aaron Fox.
Oh, De'Aaron Fox,
De'Aaron
fourth
Fox.
option.
That's
Yeah,
what I
there you
mean.
Yeah.
Well, the offense is going to run through Wembanyama forever. But, like,
Yeah,
I mean,
so, yeah.
when Dylan Harper's... If Dylan Harper goes to San Antonio, I agree with you. I don't think
Yeah.
Harper fits San Antonio
What,
at all. If he
what
gets drafted
team
to...
can he go to? That's
if
like
he
He's
gets-
too cocky for the Spurs vibe.
If
Exactly.
Harper gets drafted to a team that's much worse, that should have been 1 or 2, like the Wizards or something like that.
But even then,
he
even
won't
if he like,
win, but
yeah.
he'll score. Like, he'll get stats.
Even if he goes to the Wizards, though, like, I'm not gonna be impressed with it. I don't think he's a winning player.
Dude,
I
I'm
don't know.
excited for Trey Johnson.
Yeah,
I like Trey Johnson. I do.
I like it.
I like Trey
I
Johnson.
like the kid from Florida. I already forgot his name from March
the
Madness.
three-point shooter?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I forget his name, too. It's
I'm
gonna drive
already
me
so.
crazy.
I know he's gonna go
Walter
like lottery.
Clayton. Walter
Yeah,
Clayton,
there we go.
boom, yeah.
He's gonna go lottery. I think. I'm high on him.
Dude, I'm
Truthfully,
high on him.
His stock-
I
his
think you
stock
gotta win in
went-
college.
His stocks went
Dog,
so up.
I'm
during
so
the
excited for Con Kneppel. Like, I know
Yeah.
Fly gets all the attention, but dude, Kneppel is
Yeah.
such
Kneppel's
a
really
dog.
good too,
He's
yeah.
What was the
so
center's
good.
name too? I always forget. It was it starts with like an M or something. I don't even remember.
Yeah, it's like the African dude.
yeah,
fella,
yeah,
yeah.
I forget.
I forget his name. I don't know. It's hard to pronounce. I think, I don't.
Malawak. There
Yeah,
we go.
yes,
Yeah,
Malawak. There you
Malawak.
go.
I knew it started with
I
an
don't know
M.
if I'm gonna like him in the NBA.
I think it depends on the teams that he goes
Yeah.
to.
I don't
right?
know. No, I
It
don't.
depends.
I don't know about him.
We're so all over the place with this draft.
We
class.
are, yeah,
I think
yeah.
Dylan Harper is going to be a bust, man.
All right.
That's my overrated.
Okay. Oh yeah. So that's the overrated. I mean, I like it though. The NBA draft is going to be awesome. And believe me,
NBA
we will
draft's
have
gonna be
coverage
good.
once
We'll have
that's
NBA
out.
draft
I'm
coverage.
excited
Don't you
for it.
worry.
So now it's my turn to spin the wheel. Let's get this wheel going right here.
Oh, you're screen recording it too?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's smart.
Yeah,
That's
so we
smart.
screen recorder, so we put it on the screen.
Yeah.
But eventually it'll be a lot smarter to just,
Just have the
Put it right
just have-
here.
have a wheel here. College basketball
Oh wow, perfect.
is mine.
We're right there.
So,
We'll give you like a quick little intermission here.
all right, you know what? All right, I actually got a good one.
Here we
All
go.
right, so my take is going to be on the Duke Blue Devils. And so this isn't necessarily biased because I'm not the biggest fan of Duke, but I think you guys know the Boozer twins committed to Duke.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think Caden Boozer is going to be a bust.
He's the shorter one,
Okay.
right?
I don't think Caden Boozer is going to be that good.
And
I-
this
I
is
think
no
I-
fellow ACC beef at all.
No,
I think I agree. I think I agree with you on this.
Caden Boozer was rated, I believe, a 4-star, but like close to a 5-star. He was rated like 15th in the country. His brother was obviously number 2 next to AJ DeBansta. And I think, obviously, I think DeBansta's gonna be a stud. I think Cameron Boozer is gonna be a stud. I think
is.
Caden Boozer is gonna live in his brother's shadow He's going to continue to live in his brother's shadow, and he's not gonna have much of a role on Duke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think it's going to be as bad as like Blake Griffin and his brother, but I do think Cam Boozer's going
I
to
didn't
be
even
so
know
much
Blake
better.
Griffin had a brother.
Exactly. Well, no,
seriously-
it's going to be like Steph and Seth.
But
Alright.
yeah,
But I think
kind of like that. But
Caden might be a little better than Seth.
But I'm hearing people are like, obviously, like Caden has played really well in high school. He's had some. I think he had like a 60-point game in a recent EYBL tournament. But like, I don't think Shire's gonna give Caden the opportunity to score that much. And I feel like there's a chance that Cam goes to the draft, and there's a chance that Caden's gonna stay back. But I don't think his ego would let him not get drafted the same year as his brother. So he would go into
Especially
the
with
draft.
Carlos Boozer as their dad too. He's
Yeah, that's
definitely
what I
gonna-
mean. So
He's
my
definitely going to want the flex.
So I
to be
guess
like,
my
"Yo,
prediction
both
is
my
like
boys are in the
Caden
league."
gets drafted like the second round, and Cam just gets all the Boozer stardom, and Caden gets none of it.
I 100% agree with you right there. Actually, I always thought Cam was better. I mean, because he's obviously taller, which that obviously helps. But he can score at like every level, which
Yeah,
helps
Cam-
him out
Cam
so
can-
much. He can shoot
Cam can
threes. He can
score
shoot
at all
mid range. He can
levels.
get to the paint. Caden, like he's good. Obviously, don't get me wrong. He'd fry me, but yeah,
Nah, Teeps, you got him.
Teams, you can go to 5-star.
You guys got
I still
him.
think Duke is going to be, like, they're going to win the ACC. They'll be a 1 seed in the tournament next year. Duke is going to be stacked, but Caden Boozer will not be a huge part of it.
yeah. I agree with you on this one, Andrew.
Not that hard of a take. It was kind of hard to come up with. I wanted to give a Syracuse
College
take, but I don't want to talk
college
about
takes in
Syracuse
general are
every
so
time.
much harder
They
to
are
do than
hard,
pro ones.
yeah.
Like when I had to do back-to-back college football ones, that was very tough for me.
Yeah.
But so I totally see where you're coming from with college
College football,
basketball.
like, we're not even going to get into
Yeah.
that. College football is going to be
It's
so
gonna be so good.
good. So now it's time to send it to a segment that we haven't had in a while. Call your shot.
Welcome to Call Your Shot. It's going to be a little bit different than the last time we did this when me and Andrew picked like award winners or whatever it was. This, we're going to do it the proper way we think it should be done. This weekend we have the U.S. Open. It started yesterday, I believe. Still going on today. Our pick is who you guys got winning the U.S. Open. We're just going to go right in a line and say it. I got, even though he's shooting over right now, I have Bryson DeChambeau winning the U.S. Open.
Dude, DeChambeau started off terrible. So we are making these picks after watching one day of the Open so far.
Yeah.
We're filming this on Friday, June 13th.
Yes. But
Yeah.
keep in mind, they're playing at Oakmont Country Club, where literally anything can happen.
Yep,
Right
hardest
now,
course.
live reaction right now, it's a 3-way tie for first, and the highest score so far is 3 under.
It's between Spawn and 2 others. Who else is-
Spawn, Lawrence, and Burns.
That's right.
Ooh.
So,
I'm
yeah.
keeping my pick. I'm staying faithful. Give me Phil, dude. Give
Phil.
me Phil. He's 4
Oh
under
my
right now. He's
God.
making a comeback.
4 over.
Four
Phil-
over.
4 over, excuse me. He's 4 over right now. He's making a
Yeah.
comeback.
I think
Phil
Bryson's,
Mickelson,
dude,
dude. He's like
I've never
my
been a
long
Phil
lost
Mickelson
uncle.
guy.
So you
dude,
got
like-
the the Grand Slam.
Oh yeah.
If Phil wins,
Yeah.
Phil's
He's making a run.
Phil's coming second in the U.S. Open 6 times. It's the only major he needs to Grand Slam. So
I know-
you got it finally
I
happening.
need
this
I know
Sunday.
you're a Mickelson guy because
Yeah.
Mickelson.
Yeah.
I just
got
love
a
Bryson.
similar
I like
last
watching
name.
Bryson's videos. Bryson, I think
He's my long. Sean's laughing in there.
Yeah.
He's like, he's my long lost uncle, dude. That's the
Yeah.
only golfer
is.
that I mess with.
Bryson-
Besides Tiger.
I do not
Tiger's
like
good.
Phil Mickelson. I'm not gonna lie
Bryson's
to you
shooting
guys.
3
I've never
over
been a
now
Phil
too,
guy.
so I think he can come back too. I don't think
Yeah.
these guys that are shooting under are going to stay under for that long.
Yeah, you never
Yeah.
know what can happen at Oakmont. We got till Sunday for this. You
So
never
now-
know what can happen.
Indy.
So,
Give me Phil.
Shock me.
give
Give
me
Phil.
my favorite golfer, Norwegian legend Victor Hovland. He's actually shooting pretty well right now. He was 1 over yesterday, but right now he's 2 under. Shot 3 under on the day.
Oh, wow.
Give me Hovland to keep rolling. I think Hovland will take his first major.
There
I
you
would
go.
One
love to see it
significant
happen.
flaw in your pick.
What's that?
His last name isn't close to Nicholson.
It doesn't rhyme with Nicholson.
So
So we're both flawed.
right, that might be a problem.
Yeah.
That's
think-
my only reasoning.
That might
If
be
you
a
guys saw
problem.
the tee up to gear up video, I don't know golf a whole ton. I know like the big names of golf, and then I just say that Phil's.
We all just know top dog isn't playing in the Open anymore. 'cause
Exactly.
He's got plenty of them.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I got DeChambeau. Will.
Phil.
Give me Victor
Nicholson.
Hovland.
So yeah, quick little
Tune
segment.
in next week.
Yeah.
We'll be like, wow, Victor
Yeah.
Hovland really won it.
Quick little segment right there, because call your shot doesn't take that long.
No,
It's just
call
like-
your shot doesn't take long. And we've had longer segments today.
We've had a lot of long segments today, but yeah, call your shot, nice and simple, but big stakes on the line here. Hardest golf course in the world, third major tournament in the entire year. Give me DeChambeau. Will's got Mickelson. Andrew's got Victor Hovland. We'll see what happens on the next episode of the show. We'll see you then. Now, guys.
Now
It is time,
it's time
for
for
everybody's
the
favorite segment, the
The
segment
segment.
that gets Sean clapping in the studio
I'm
over
so
there.
ready.
It is time for On the Clock. We'll be right back with it. Welcome to On the Clock. You guys watched the last episode. Andrew got to pick the draft category of greatest fictional athletes of all time. It was one of the closest drafts I think me and Andrew have ever
so
had.
unbelievable.
Where did Bobby Boucher go? before
Bobby
he kicks
Boucher
off?
went
Second overall to me.
He technically 4th overall in the draft to Andrew. Andrew's
Second
second
overall
overall.
to me.
But yeah, so today's draft, gentlemen, is not including MMA, boxing, or wrestlers. Athletes, starting 5 of athletes you want to have by your side in a fight.
Ooh.
So, Will being our guest, you have the 101 today. Andrew will go
I've
2,
been-
I'll go 3rd, and we're going to snake draft it today to keep
This is the
teams
first
even.
time that we were going to have 15 selections.
Yes.
So the draft pool is bigger. I just want to
Pool is
get this
big.
out of the way. I have categories in my player pool. I have strength, I have psychos, and I have size of the fight and the dog.
There you
So
go.
we got a good mix here.
That's good.
I think we're foreshadowing, actually, by the city on our shirts, where Will's player is coming
Yep.
from. So, Will, you want to
Yeah.
take away the first pick?
We all know this was the consensus.
I wonder which name
1-1.
he's going to use.
I know, right? I have been blessed with the first overall pick here. Shout out to you guys for that. First pick, James Johnson. man.
Yeah,
Gotta be
I knew that
James
was coming.
Johnson. If you didn't know, James Johnson is he doesn't even play for the Pacers.
He did get minutes,
He
though,
did.
in game
He
2.
did get minutes.
He got a bucket.
He's
get
an old
minutes.
guy, but he's a black belt in karate. So give me James Johnson. That is like
Pretty
that
sure
is-
he's undefeated in kickboxing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And shout out to Jeff Teague, me and Will's guy, favorite NBA broadcaster. James Johnson used to kickbox while they were playing at Wake Forest, just so he could make some money on the side.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah,
nuts. So,
give me James Johnson. You guys blessed me with the 1-1. I'm not gonna lie.
So when you
Yeah.
have an NBA player who's a black belt and undefeated in kickboxing, and we decided to allow this. So Brock Lesnar was an NFL player, by the way. We're not allowing Brock
yeah,
Lesnar
he-
because he was a formal fighter.
Yeah,
I
WWE
think
and UFC.
in UFC. I think being a black belt, that's not. It's unofficial, so we allow
Yeah.
it.
His
That's
profession
allowed.
says pro basketball player.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he is a basketball player. Like he's a basketball player.
He's not
so
in the
he-
UFC or anything.
No,
that's
exactly.
like being like Steph Curry can golf
can
a
golf,
while.
exactly.
That's like
So
picking
is
Steph
golf.
Curry and call your shot, yeah.
Yeah. So if we wanted to do athletes to play 9 with,
That would
might be a
that
future
so-
segment.
That sounds like
Might
a
be
good future segment.
Or
You guys blessed
play
me with
a
that
team
first pick, though.
There you go.
that
All right,
was the
so-
first guy I needed.
With the 102, a lot of ways I could go here. Actually, a lot of ways I could go here. So
You
I
knew
think,
this was happening.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go to football. I think I'm going to go a mix of psychos and strength and give me Lawrence Taylor.
That's
Yeah,
a good
he was on
pick.
my draft board as well.
That's a
That's a
good
really
Lawrence
good
Taylor,
pick.
he's a mix of strength and psychos because he's got some stuff wrong with him, but he's also one of the strongest guys to ever play a sport. So, yeah, give me Lawrence Taylor.
All right.
Destroyed. He's broken legs before, so
Yep.
I'll take my team.
Good second pick. So I have 2 picks right here. My first pick, give me the leader of the Bad Boy Pistons. Give me Bill Laimbeer.
Yeah,
Yep, Bill Laimbeer was going to go a little bit later for me.
Bill
That's a good one.
Laimbeer, I mean, we know how hated this guy was.
Oh, my God.
Larry Bird threw a ball at his head,
He
and his
did.
excuse was, I was trying to give the ball to the ref, and Laimbeer's head got in the way.
Larry Bird also tackled him.
He did tackle him. But Bill Laimbeer always wanted to be starting something. So, yeah,
He was on my
give me
list.
Bill Laimbeer as my first pick. Oof. Second pick, I need you guys to hear me out on this one. My second pick, I'm going Chandler Jones. Because he's got the DNA of his brother John Jones, and I think he's gonna bring.
true.
And I think he's gonna bring
That
it to
is
the
true.
table.
I didn't even
No,
think
that's
about that.
true.
So that's
a good point.
That might be a sneaky second overall.
And
pick
Chandler
for me.
Jones also was kind of like insane.
He's insane. He was great for the Patriots, great D lineman. He was very feared by offensive lines.
At first,
Yeah.
I was like, all right, yeah, he's a psycho. But then, like, that's true. Like, his brother's John Jones.
His brother is the greatest UFC fighter of all
That's-
time, so I
that's a-
think that's going to carry over for
That's
sure.
actually, yeah, it's a good pick.
Not a hot take, by the way. John
No.
Jones is the GOAT.
Yeah,
Yeah,
John
no, I
Jones
don't
is
think
the
that's
GOAT
I
of
don't
the
think that's
UFC.
a hot take at all. So I think I'm gonna stay away from size of the fight and the dog for a little
For
bit
now.
for a little bit more. I think I'm gonna go. I'm debating between strength and psychos. I think I'm gonna go with strength. I'm just give me Trent Williams.
Ooh,
Good pick right
that's a
there.
good
Trent
pick.
Williams. I mean, probably the hardest guy to take down in a fight for sure. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
gonna be the best. Well, actually, no, he'd actually be really good throwing punches. Like he's
Yeah.
pretty versatile too. But like, how are you gonna get Trent Williams down?
You're not.
Yeah.
You're straight up not.
I'm gonna have some crazy picks coming up. By the
Well,
way.
you're up.
Yeah,
Dude,
Will did a lot of
You
research.
got
I got
picks.
some psychos, dude.
All
I
right.
got some
I'm ready.
psychos lined up. All right, so this is gonna be the second player joining my team. Give me Ray Lewis, man.
Ray Lewis is on my list
Give
as
me,
well.
give me Ray
Ray Lewis is on my list. Sean's loving the Ray Lewis pick. in
Yeah, I
there.
love that.
Ray Lewis was who I was debating between Ray Lewis and Trent Williams, and
Yeah.
I decided to take Trent Williams. Ray
That's
Lewis,
tough.
I knew he wasn't gonna make it. But
So-
that's a
Yeah.
phenomenal.
If you
pick.
don't know about Ray Lewis, do you guys know why he wears number 52? It's a crazy
Yes,
story.
I have heard the story, but yeah, tell it.
So Ray Lewis wears number 52. His stepdad was like very abusive to his mom and him, and Ray Lewis to get in shape, just like for that and football in general, took a deck of cards, 52 cards in a deck, and he would like flip them. And if it was like a face card, he'd do 10 push-ups. If it was 8, he would do 8 push-ups. And he would go through the deck of cards, doing how many push-ups they were. That's
So
why he wears
sick.
numur 52.
That's such a
also,
awesome story.
he's tapped, dude. He is crazy.
Did you guys see
My phone just hit
when
the ground.
Ocho Cinco tried to blindside Ray Lewis?
Yeah.
Ocho
lit
Cinco
up.
just got clotheslined.
lit up. Yeah.
Like, it didn't even...
First of all, I'm sitting pretty, dude. I got Ray Lewis and I got a black belt and then
Yeah.
an absolute
And
psycho.
then Ray Lewis.
So now you got another pick here.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I go again. All right, fellas. You know what? I'm just give me a bunch of Mad Men, dude. You know who I'm gonna take next? You know, this is the first like not big guy I'm gonna take, but this guy. Oh my God! Give me Weapon X, dude. Give me Brian.
I love
That's
the
a good
pick.
pick.
I love the
Dawkins.
Brian Dawkins was on my
I
list
was
also.
literally just about to take him.
Yeah.
He was right there.
Yeah.
And I didn't even write Brian Dawkins. I just wrote Weapon
X.
X on
Weapon
my
X.
notes.
Brian Dawkins was on my list also.
Oh my goodness,
Dude,
that's such a good pick.
Brian Dawkins is like the definition of a psychopath.
Just the most mentally
dude.
insane person
He would
ever.
hit people and then be like, "Hallelujah, thank you, Jesus."
Oh
Just
my
be
god, he was literally.
psycho.
That's psycho
Just a
behavior.
Psychopath.
It would have nothing to do with the play. He would just murder people just to do
Yeah.
it. Like,
He literally was like, God chose me for this fight, and would just lay people out.
right,
Yeah, give me B-Doc, man.
okay, so now I think I'm gonna enter size of the fight in the dog category. We're gonna go a little throwback here. We're gonna go Terry O'Reilly from the Boston Bruins.
Wow. What a pull right there.
That is
Terry
a pull.
O'Reilly,
What a
one
pull.
That's a
of
pull.
one of the most well-known fighters in the history of hockey.
All right.
One of the toughest players ever.
Sean
Give me two.
approves. You got the
Sean
Sean
approves,
approval.
yeah.
Sean approval.
All right.
So that's
There's-
my size of the fight in the dog.
There's a lot of ways I can go here. All right. First pick, I'm going to go. He's an equally as hard hitter as Brian Dawkins. Give me Cam Chancellor.
Yep,
I like that.
I like it. I
With
like
the most
pick.
boom on the Legion of Boom out
Yeah.
of anybody. Then second, you guys might not know who this is, but he has a movie about him because he was such a good goon in hockey. Give me Doug Glatt.
That's
This
a
guy
good
was
pick.
actually a
That's a good
customer
pull.
at
That's
my
a good
dad's
pick.
store.
That's a
This
good
guy
pick.
was
Really?
this guy was literally only in the NHL because he was a fighter.
Because he could fight. Yeah.
He would fight everybody on the court, and he would just
Ice.
scrap on the ice.
Definition of a goon.
Literal goon. They made a
Quite
movie
literally
about
goon.
this dude
Yeah.
called Goon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what that's based off of?
Swear to God.
That's
Give-
all right,
so
that's
give
a
me
huge
Doug
pull.
Glatt. This guy was
That's a good
guy was
pull.
born to swing on skates.
That's a good pull.
Give me
yeah.
Doug Glatt. So Cam Chancellor, Doug Glatt on my
Dude,
next
hockey
list.
players back in the day were ruthless.
Yeah.
Like
Oh
they
my
were,
God.
and like hockey players now still fight more than anyone else in sports. But
Yeah,
hockey
yeah.
players back then were a different breed.
You had a whole role
They were
for
crazy.
hockey players to
For
fight.
literally just to
like,
fight.
Just
Literally
to fight,
had
you had a whole
goons.
role.
It was
Yeah,
insane.
that's wild.
So now with my pick, we're gonna go to basketball. We're in the psychos category. This guy almost sent James Harden to the hospital for the rest of his life. We're gonna go
my God!
Ron
How did I
Artest.
not think of him?
He was on my
Ron
list.
Artest.
He
Oh
was
my
on my
God.
Give me Ron Artest, Meta World Peace, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call him.
Would you go into the stands and fight somebody?
The
Yeah.
Malice,
You're worthy
yeah,
of getting
He was
drafted.
the main
Palace.
reason the Malice at the Palace ever happened.
Yeah.
And he threw a guy to the ground.
Yeah. And you're
That's
taking
crazy.
Ron Artest, right? Not Meta World Peace?
No, yeah, it's like
No, no,
04
no.
Pacers Ron Artest,
Yeah.
who was jacked.
You got to take prime Ron Artest
Yeah,
there
yeah,
when you
yeah.
can.
Because
That
Prime
was-
Ron Artest, not only was he crazy, dude, he was huge.
Yeah.
He was so athletic, and he was good until he
He,
Till
threw
Until he
Pistons fans on
assaulted
the
people.
ground.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that was gonna be my pick. That's
Yeah.
a really good pick. I love that.
You guys traded taking each other's pick there.
I
Yeah,
know, yeah,
quality
we
of-
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get. I mean,
We
I would
did.
still rather Brian Dawkins because
Yeah.
he is actually just the craziest human I think to ever exist.
Ooh, I got some fire ones coming up.
All right.
I'm gonna stick. I think this is like my first like just dominant physical specimen. Like obviously, you know, Ray Lewis, big dude.
I mean, I would consider Ray Lewis a physical specimen.
I know my guys are just psychos, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I need a guy of just pure absolute strength. Bodyguard. Give me Aaron Donald, dude. Give me
Yeah.
Aaron
Oh my
Donald
God, great
to
pick.
hold
Great pick.
down the fort.
Great pick.
Just an absolute massive human.
Dude benches like 500 pounds.
Yeah.
You'll be set.
I'm all good. Yeah. Oh, this is my last one too, huh?
This is
Yeah,
it.
it's-
We're entering the
closing
fifth
out your
inning.
team right here, Will.
Ooh, okay. There's a couple different ways that I can go. See, there's still some good players on the board.
Yeah. We'll give
That-
some honorable mentions after,
sure.
after the game.
Yeah. Oh man, this is hard. This because like I did so much research on this one dude
Yeah.
that like I want to
Yeah.
take him, but I still have a lot of players on the. Yeah, you know what? I'm sticking with it. I need another huge guy. I got psychos. I got size. I'm gonna put a nice little bow on it with Adamakin Sue.
Wow.
Sue
Great
as an
pick.
What a
absolute,
pull. I didn't even
an
think of that.
absolute
Great pick.
house of a man.
Sue was in my notes,
Dude,
but I wasn't thinking of
I'm
taking
pretty
it.
sure he was Tom Brady's most feared player.
Yeah,
when Tom Brady
Brady
played
said
in
that. Brady said that. He said that his hardest hit was from Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
And he said that the player he feared the most was Ndamukong Suh.
Absolutely just terrorizing
Yeah.
defenses.
Yeah, dude was prime,
Yeah.
like Lions, Dolphins, and Dominican Sue.
Yeah.
That dude was like genuinely
Yeah.
terrifying.
Dolphins and
100%.
Ndamukong Suh was what scared Tom Brady to go down to Miami, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I love
So
that.
Andrew Ryan.
We're gonna sum up teams at the end
Yeah.
too. All right, well, you guys keep drafting.
Now
This is a big pick.
Okay,
here. This is your
so-
last slot.
I got a size in the fight of the dog hockey player, Terry O'Reilly. I got two psychos, Lawrence Taylor and Ron Artest, and I got strength in Trent Williams. I'm wondering if I add more strength to the team, or if I go with a psychopath, or do I go with another dog? So I think I'm gonna go with the size of the fight and the dog. We're gonna go back to hockey. It's gonna be another Bruin. Give me Milan Lucic.
Oh, he was
that's a
on
good
my
one.
list.
Give me Milan
That's a
Lucic.
good
Yeah,
one.
Sean loves
Sean's
it.
approval in
Yeah.
there.
Andrew, I swear I was like heavily considering to take him with my next pick.
Milan
I have
Lucic
another
is a
Bruin
good fifth
fighter
round
on
pick
my
is-
list.
He
Yeah.
checked a man through the glass.
Yeah,
at TD
yeah, that
Garden.
did happen. All right, so my team right now has Lambeer and Chandler Jones, who are both strength and crazy.
Yep.
We have who was it? Oh, we have Cam Chancellor, who's just pure unit
Yeah.
strength.
Yep.
Then we have Doug Glatt, who's literally crazy.
Yeah.
We need one fight in the dog on our team. Give me one of the only MLB players with a recorded knockout during a game. Give me Jose Ramirez,
I love
Okay.
it.
who put
Okay.
Tim Henderson to
Love
sleep
the
at
pick.
second
Okay.
base.
Yeah.
So he might not be the biggest guy in the world, but he has a knockout on his record.
He has a knockout on his record. You also could have gone with Odor, knocked out.
Rognet Odor,
Bautista.
that's another good pick.
And on my notes was Pedro Martinez, because he's
Yeah.
just a dog. Like, he doesn't really fight.
Pedro
He would
Martinez.
Pedro Martinez would get rocked, obviously, by
yeah.
like.
I didn't even have him on my list, but Veritek was definitely a consideration.
Veritek.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
A-Rod on the ground.
Yeah,
Like, that's
true.
Okay, so let's get over to
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah, who's
So
some of the
Will, go
honorable
over your
mentions?
team,
Yep.
and then give us the honorable mentions.
Gotcha. All right, so my team, dude, my team's nice. I'm not gonna lie.
There you go.
I got
Will's team is stacked.
James Johnson, Ray Lewis, Brian Dawkins, Aaron Donald, and Ndamukong Suh.
That's disgusting.
It's just
no
How did
one
you
is,
let him get away with
it's
that?
four,
Actually?
you four of the most feared men in NFL history,
Yeah.
and then a black belt.
and then a black.
And then a black belt NBA player.
Yeah,
Actually,
no,
how did he get away with
This
that?
is a really stacked
It's
team.
a really stacked team.
My honorable mentions, I will say, if I was allowed a six-man and I could take a small guy, my small guy would have been Aqib Talib. Just
Wow.
an absolute.
That's a good pick.
the
Talk-
chain
yeah.
snatcher right there.
Yeah, talk about a
That's
guy
okay.
who like isn't big but plays like he is. Aqib Talib. Also, I had Myles Garrett in there. Give that guy a helmet. It's over.
Yeah.
Isaiah Stewart, which I'm surprised he went undrafted.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isaiah Stewart, just a hoss.
Tried to
man.
kill LeBron.
He
Yeah,
did.
literally.
He did. Ronnie Lott was in there, just another hard-hitting safety.
Oh, Ronnie Lott's
Ronnie
a
Lott's
good
a great
one. I
pick.
didn't even
Ronnie
think
Lott,
of him.
Ronnie Lott got
Or
his-
Ed Reed. I didn't think of any of those safeties.
Ed Reed was one of my honorable
I didn't think of
mentions,
Ed Reed
actually.
or Ronnie Lott. I did have Brian Dawkins in there, and I was just about to say his name until Will said
Now I
it.
have my
That was
glorified
unfortunate.
hockey guys too. Sean Thornton was another name.
Sean Thornton.
An
Sean
absolute
Thornton,
scrap. Yeah.
Sean just loves the hockey guys.
An absolute scrapper. If I ran out of my big guys, that's who I was going to take. And then also, my final one here, this was the heavy research, Dave Schultz. I don't know if you guys know who Dave Schultz is.
Doesn't ring a
He was
bell.
on the 1970 Philadelphia Flyers.
Oh, well,
Oh,
yeah.
what was their
Yeah.
nickname?
So
it was-
Broad Street Bullies.
The Broad Street
Yeah.
Bullies, yep.
Yeah,
There
the
you go.
Flyers were
He
literally
was-
known to just like beat up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Other
was
players.
he was the main antagonist for the Broad Street Bullies and would just fight everything.
That's a good one.
That's
So
awesome.
he was my honorable mention. Sean liked that one.
Sean
He's a
has
big
one.
fan.
Oh, so we're going to put Sean over the PA.
Oh,
real quick.
yeah,
Sean has a
Into
pick.
the PA.
So I gotta mention Mike Milbury back in the day. He climbed over the glass and beat a fan with his own shoe.
Oh, wow.
That's huge.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're not the biggest like throwback hockey guys.
Yeah.
I have Wendell Clark in mind from the Maple Leafs in the 80s and 90s, another really good fighter.
Nice.
But he didn't make my list. I got
So
Sean's
wait,
approval.
those are all
for
your
that
honorable
one, so
mentions,
that's-
Will?
Those were my honorable mentions.
So, Andrew, what was your team? And then let's go to your honorable mentions.
So my team in order was Lawrence Taylor, Trent Williams, Terry O'Reilly, Ron Artest, and Milan Lucic. So I got some
That's a
smaller guys.
squad.
I'm not gonna lie. I think my hockey guys are probably gonna get rocked by those. But they put up a fight. But I mean,
I think
at the end of the-
Lucic could hang with Aaron Donald for a little bit.
For a little bit.
But then when Ray Lewis comes in, too, yeah. It's
Well,
all-
so some of my honorable mentions. For strength, I was thinking Shaq, but I was like, low key, I feel like Shaq would get destroyed by a good D lineman or
you would need like
lineman.
Yeah.
you need like prime Laker
Or,
Shaq.
I
no,
had-
not even that. You need Orlando Shaq.
Yeah, no, I
Or
feel like
like- oh, yeah.
Shaq would low key get
Tear-
rocked in a
tearing
fight
down
like
backboard
that.
Shaq.
Exactly.
I have DK Metcalf in there, Derrick Henry
Yeah.
in there, both good
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, good picks.
Ray Lewis was in it. Dennis Rodman was in there.
I was thinking
I was
I was
thinking
thinking of
Dennis
pairing up
Rodman.
Dennis
Dennis
Rodman with
Rodman's
Lambeer, but
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was thinking Rodman. I even had like Larry Bird. It's just like a dog because Larry
Yeah.
Bird would fight anyone.
Yeah.
He
Larry Bird
really
would fight
wasn't scared
anyone.
of much people.
Yeah.
I had Allen Iverson in there. I feel like Iverson.
interesting pick.
Like
That
it's
is
an interesting. I obviously was gonna pick him, but I was just thinking about it because like, dude, AI was a dog, dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
he definitely
was.
was a dog. That's
Um,
for
I
sure.
forget where AI is from. He's not from Philly, is he?
No, he's not from.
I have to look it
I
up.
think he's from Georgia.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
I
he,
knew-
went, he went to Georgia Tech. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew
appreciate
he
that.
grew up tough. though.
No,
Because he
AI
played football too.
AI went to Georgetown.
Georgetown, yeah,
Which is
Georgetown.
in
But
DC.
he is from Georgia though.
Yeah. And then I had Pedro Martinez kind of as a joke because
Yeah.
I mean he threw Don Zimmer to the ground. That was awesome.
Yeah.
But besides that, like Pedro really didn't fear anyone either. Like,
Dude, when I saw the comeback documentary, and Pilar was talking about after he got hit, and Pedro's like, "Who do you want?" I'm like, "Yeah, sign me up."
yeah, no, like
That's
Pedro's
my
just,
ace right
like
there.
that's what I mean. He was just a dog.
No
like,
fear in his heart. He's like, "Who am I hitting?"
Like obviously,
Am I-
sometimes the size of the fight and the dog matters. Like I mean, the size of the dog in the fight matters a little bit. That's
Yeah.
why I still took two of them because I still want to give respect to hockey players because like they're not big.
Yeah.
It's common knowledge that hockey players are not big, but they're just ruthless.
I think after I saw like Big Papi break that bat after he struck out or whatever, I think he could fall into like.
Yeah,
a-
but he
I'm
doesn't have a
surprised Big
bat, though.
Poppy wasn't maybe not drafted. But
Nah, Big Papi would get rocked by
He
anybody.
would,
Like if
yeah.
you're telling me you got Trent Williams or Ray Lewis against Big Papi, bro, like who's
that
gonna
is
win?
true.
Who's gonna
That's
win?
true.
All right, so my
This
team.
really should be football and
Yeah.
kind of basketball loaded.
I'd say you can have some hockey guys.
So and hockey,
So like
hockey.
my team is Bill Lambier, Chandler Jones.
Yep.
After that was Cam Chancellor, Doug Glatt, and then my last pick was Jose Ramirez.
Doug Glatt's one of my favorite picks of the draft, dude. That's
good
such
one.
a good one.
Jose
And
Ramirez.
so is
Jose Ramirez.
the Flyers picked.
Oh, yeah.
Jose
Flyers.
Ramirez, small guy, but he put down Tim Anderson, who's like a 6'2" shortstop, and Ramirez is like 5'10".
Yeah.
So I think he can hang with anybody. He's got the crazy factor.
Yeah,
Some
like,
of my-
that's what I mean. Like Milan Lucic is like 5'9"
Yeah.
or something.
Some of
He's
my
not
honorable-
tall.
6'4",
oh wow,
Lucci's
Lucci's
6'4".
just 6'4".
On
Thank you.
skates or just normal?
normal.
Wow.
So I didn't know
Okay.
that.
Yeah. So shout out Sean. So
6'4", 240.
some
yeah,
of my,
that's
So I
That's
take
a
it back.
fighter.
Lucic is actually going to hang with
Yeah,
some of the
Lucic-
he
NFL
will.
players.
Yeah.
Lucic is
He
6'4",
will.
240. I don't know why I thought he was short.
So some of my honorable mentions is I don't know
Bergeron's
how
short.
this basketball player didn't get mentioned. Giannis. 'Cause Giannis is just he's a nice guy, but you've seen what happens if you piss off Giannis.
Yeah, no,
And he's 6'11", like 250.
he's a big dude.
No, he's a huge
So-
dude, but I feel like it is fair to
Here's
I
another
feel like
one.
give it to the throwback guys that were born in tough
Yeah.
situations, like
Alright.
Ray
Yeah.
Lewis. Like,
Alright.
I really don't think Ray Lewis is losing to a single person. That we
No.
talked
This,
about.
No, I don't
this
think
next
so.
guy.
I
has-
actually don't know how I didn't take Ray Lewis. I don't know
can't
how I
believe
missed
you
him
did
this
either.
twice.
next guy has the hardest hit I've ever seen on a football field. Sean Taylor.
Oh, that's a good one.
Literally
Rest in peace.
flatlined
Yep.
up. Yeah, rest in peace, Sean Taylor.
That was on the Pro Bowl too. That hit
Yep.
that you're
That was
talking
in the
about.
Pro Bowl, the craziest part.
And now it's flag football.
Give me prime juice era of both of these guys. Mark McGuire and Jose Canseco.
Yeah.
Prime, like, on the juice when they were, like, hitting 70 home runs each. Aaron Judge, even though I don't think he would fight. He's just
Big dude.
He's
He's
6'7",
big.
240, so. Mean Joe Green, it's literally in the name.
Yeah.
Yep.
Reggie White.
Ooh, Night Train Lane would have been another good
Yeah.
one.
Giancarlo Stanton. Like, Miami Marlins, Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah.
O'Neal Cruz, just because he's just another.
Low
big-
key, dude.
he's
I don't
another
think many
big freak.
baseball players should be allowed to
Then,
fight.
then
in
I have
this.
two
Yeah.
basketball players who I think could have fit. Kareem, because Kareem literally gave a dude a black eye during a game. And then
I don't know
Will
about
Chamberlain.
Kareem. Will,
What's
yeah.
the name of the dude who do you remember the guy who almost like died on the court because someone punched him in the back of the head? Back in like the 70s or whatever.
I think this was the guy.
What's his name?
The guy that Kareem hit?
No,
No.
Kareem didn't hit him though. It was like something Washington. I forget
I
his
have
name.
no idea.
No.
It was funny.
You
it was,
guys find it out. Put
funny
it
enough,
up on the
it was a
screen.
Mike Korzemba video that I watched about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Oh, shout out Korzemba.
Korzemba
Shout out
was
Mike
the goat.
Korzemba. I'm not-
Korzemba has the worst take of all time. Steph Curry with the 40-inch vertical
Yeah,
on the
Lonzo
ball,
Ball.
but you know, other than that, he's elite.
So bad.
So, yeah.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I am like, if I had like this group of dudes like to defend me anywhere, dude, I'm talking so much heat. No
Yeah.
one is.
I think
touching me.
Will's team is.
No one
beating
is
our
Yeah,
team.
touching
if I
me,
went
dude.
against your team, I think I would have to cut J-Ram and
Yeah.
bring in like Mean Joe Green because it's in the name.
No,
Yeah.
Will's team is definitely
Yeah, well,
beating.
I think
team.
Will's team's
Dude,
beat.
I have the
I'm not
perfect
gonna lie
blend
though,
of like. dudes
Lucic
who are
is low key
huge.
fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lucic is huge.
Lucic will scrap, yeah.
Lucic is gonna scrap with people, dude.
Dude, I think if Lucic and Doug Lett,
I'll say
Like
like, what if I
collided,
put
though?
like Chara in there? But I feel like Chara would get rocked.
Yeah. See, what I think is
Yeah.
like Lucic is cool, but like Aaron Donald is just gonna.
Aaron
lift
Donald
him up.
can bench.
Well, apparently now Lucic is taller than Aaron Donald.
That's
so.
true. Yeah, that's
Dude,
true.
Aaron Donald can bench Lucic with all of his like hockey
I
equipment.
know.
I think a big part of this is like you guys both nailed it. You need like fighting isn't just about size, dude. You need some guys with screws loose.
You
And
need-
man, my team is so many screws loose. The building's
How many
falling
felons
down.
are on your
dude.
team?
I think all of them.
Oh, wow.
Dominic, well,
Yeah.
not Aaron. Well, maybe not Aaron Donald, but Brian Dawkins, Ray Lewis, James Johnson,
Yeah.
Donald, and Sue.
Yeah.
Dang.
But yeah, let us know who you guys think has a better team. Will's team is like right here in the middle.
I'm
Me-
saying as a
me
guy
and
with
Andrew's
his team,
teams are like
I
on
think
the
Will's
side.
winning. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
I think Will's gonna rock
gotta
both of our teams.
I
So
gotta
Will
squad.
with a really impressive on the clock.
I'm
debut
so
here.
good. I'm so happy with
Yeah.
this because I did so much research. Dude. I spent like
I
an
did not. I
hour.
wish
Yeah.
I wish I did more.
Well, I
wish I did
can't
more.
thank you enough for coming on, being our very
Yeah,
first
it's
guest.
been
here
Yeah,
on the
amazing.
Sportswire.
Man,
It's been
yeah.
amazing.
Caitlin Clark edition too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
with
Thank
the
you guys
team.
for having me. Thanks for the Fever jersey as well.
Of
That's
course.
dope.
Guys, yours. Do whatever you want
I'm
with it.
surprised that Marshfield hasn't had like enough of me yet, and they're like, get this kid so far away from the mic as possible.
Nah.
But I appreciate the love, guys.
When I was talking to Andrew, we said there was one option for the first guest on the show, and we had to bring you in.
It was
I
Will
love that.
Nicholson.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you
So-
for what you do for us, Will.
No
this
problem.
was a great.
Thank
Been a
you
great
guys.
show.
Great episode
Been
with
a
the
great
guest.
show. This will
love
not
that.
be the last episode with Will Nicholson as
Yeah.
long as it's okay with him.
I'll
As long
come
as it's okay with
back,
him, he'll definitely be
I would also
back.
like to extend the invite too. I run my own podcast, In the Nick of Time. It's more virtual, but if you guys would like to come on, do an episode,
course.
we
I
do
would
it
love-
live
I would
on
love
TikTok.
And that's a plug.
We'll,
Make
we'll
sure
put a
you
link.
guys-
We'll put a link in the description.
If
for
you guys
In the
haven't
Nick
had
of
enough
Time.
of
Thank
Will
you.
Nicholson,
Thank
tune
you.
in to his podcast.
Nah.
In the Nick of Time.
In the Nick of Time.
Give
I
it a
love
listen.
that.
Give it a
Yeah.
listen.
Thank you so much for watching episode 5 of the Sports Wire. We'll see you next week with more coverage of NBA Finals, Stanley Cup, and so
Yep.
much more. Just be ready for it. We'll see you soon.